Oh, and we are streaming once again. How amazing. Just absolutely brilliant. My, oh my. So, I guess the smile is the story today, right? Trump and Xi shake hands in Beijing, but the trend board is screaming Taiwan, Iran, Polish troops, spies, and Poles. Drop a 1 if this is diplomacy, 2 if it's chess with better catering. Like, subscribe, join as a member. Members get priority super chats. Get read first. You're not just watching the news, you're spotting the pattern before cable even finds its glasses. All right, let's see what's going on, Mr. POTUS. Talk to us, Mr. POTUS.
Hello, everybody.
How are you, Mr. President? How are you?
So we had a great stay. It was an amazing period of time. President Xi's an incredible guy. Got along, made a lot of great trade deals, including over 200 planes for Boeing with a promise of 750 planes, which will be by far the largest order ever if they do a good job with the 200, which I'm sure they will. And that's General Electric also, the engines. So they're buying General Electric. So it's approximately 450 engines, 200 planes, and a promise of up to 750 if they do a good job. We had an amazing time. It was a very historic. Oh, look who we have. Hello, David. It was a very historic couple of days, I think. Really amazing.
Sir, I know there'll be a lot of questions around the China trip, but just first on Iran, have you rejected the latest proposal from Iran, or where does that stand?
Well, I looked at it, and if I don't like the first sentence, I just throw it away.
What was the first sentence?
An unacceptable sentence. Because they're fully agreed, no nuclear, and if they have any nuclear of any form, I don't read the rest of the letter.
So 20 years is not enough for you, it's got to be a permanent...
No, 20 years is enough, but the level of guarantee from them is not enough. In other words, it's got to be a real 20 years, not a big one.
Means you got to get all the fuel out and no more production.
We have to get everything, but we're not even talking about, I call it the nuclear dust. Came up with a term which seems to have caught on.
I'm talking about it because they would not remove the...
And they said that they can't remove it because they don't have the technology to remove it.
Well,
they don't have the type of tractors. They say the only one, they told me directly, they said the only one that can remove it is China or the U.S. We're the only ones with the equipment. They said you were right. It is a complete obliteration. With that being said, I want to get it. And they agreed to it, but then they took it back, but they'll agree to it eventually.
Can I ask you about Taiwan? What did President Xi say to you about Taiwan? And what did President Xi say to you about Taiwan? And are you still going to approve the arms sale?
So, President Xi and I talked a lot about Taiwan. He thinks they cannot have anything to do with what they're doing. I mean, he's against very much what they're doing. We talked about Taiwan, we talked about Iran a lot, and I think we have a very good understanding with both. On Taiwan, he does not want to see a fight for independence because that would be a very strong confrontation, and I heard him out.
Are you going to say your word?
No, I didn't make a comment on it. I heard him out. I have a lot of respect for him. On Iran, it's very interesting.
We got Platinum Player jumping on the chat saying, Goofy, Trump tard cheerleader, admit you were wrong. Wrong about what? What are you talking about?
Feel strongly they can't have a nuclear weapon. Said that very strongly. They cannot have it.
What do you think, chat? Do you agree with Mr. Platinum Player 23?
Nuclear weapon, and he wants them to open up the strait. But as he said, they closed it, and then you closed them with a smile. And it's true. We control the strait. And they've done no business, literally they've done no business in the last 2.5 weeks, which is approximately $500 million a day. So we have, we're doing very well on all fronts.
$500 million a day for
2.5 weeks, which is
2.5 weeks. All right.
Approximately $500 million a day. So we have, we're doing very well on all fronts.
Sir, just before we leave
Taiwan, Mr. President.
That's about $8.75 billion. There you go. That's a lot of money. 8.75 billion.
President Xi said that there was a risk of conflict with the US over Taiwan. What's your response to that?
I don't think there's a conflict, other than we don't need their strait. We don't need the hormoos.
On Taiwan, Mr. President Xi said there was a risk of conflict with the US over Taiwan.
No, I don't think so. I think we'll be fine. He doesn't want to see a war. And you have two things. You have the Iranian situation, and that I think we agree almost entirely, other than he's a buyer and we're not. We don't need it. And on Taiwan, he doesn't want to see a movement for independence. He says, look, we've had it for thousands of years, and then at a certain period of time it left, and we were going to get it back. They had the Korean War. A lot of things happened. And all this. But on Taiwan, he feels very strongly. I made no commitment either way. We'll see what happens.
What about the arms sales to Taiwan?
I'll make a determination over the next fairly short period.
You're not necessarily going to go ahead. It was your
I'm
proposal.
going to make a determination. I'm going to see. I have to speak to the person that right now is, you know who he is, that's running Taiwan.
Mr. President, did President Xi make any...
Mike Paula. Antonio says, Trump said he does not care about our economy. Did he say that? When did he say that? How could he say such a thing?
commitment to put pressure on the Iranians to reopen the Strait of Hormoos?
I'm not asking for any favors, because when you ask for favors, you have to do favors in return. We don't need favors. We've wiped out their armed forces, essentially. We may have to do a little cleanup work because we had a little month-long ceasefire, I guess you'd call it, but we have a blockade that's so effective. That's why we did the ceasefire. We really did the ceasefire at the request of other nations. I wouldn't have really been in favor of it, but we did it as a favor to Pakistan, who are terrific people, the Field Marshal and the Prime Minister. But no, I mean, President Xi and I agree on many things, and we agree very much on trade. We're going to be doing a lot of trading. Our farmers are going to be taking in. I mean, our farmers are going to be very happy with the deal we made.
Is your instinct that he will put pressure, that he will try and get them to do more?
Ask him to put pressure, because I don't need favors. I think he will. I think automatically he'd like to see it opened up. He gets about 40% of his energy or his oil from that, from the strait. We get none. We don't need it.
Mr. President, on Truth Social, you said that President Xi had made a reference to the decline of the U.S. We didn't hear him say that. Maybe it was something he said in private to you. So what was it, first of all, that he said that prompted you to do this?
He made a statement. It might not have been from him. It was somebody, but they talked about the decline. But he said today, and he said it very publicly.
Liz West says, are you still going to put the tariffs on China? Great question. Anyone hear the updates? What's going on?
He said the U.S. was declining for the last 4 years.
Lava Turtle. How you doing, buddy? How you doing? Good to see you. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, turn on those notifications. We're going live every day of 2026. Become a member. Throw in a super chat if you want.
And he said what?
There we go. We got Mr. Rick 74 saying Trump is the GOAT, greatest of all time. We got a goat emoji actually for the members.
President Trump has done in the last 15, 16 months has been virtually a miracle. He said we have the hottest country anywhere in the world. But he said that it was a declining country. Under Joe Biden, he said we had a seriously declining country, which we did, with people pouring in from all over the world, from prisons and everything else. He said what President Trump has done has been a virtual miracle. It's the hottest country anywhere in the world, and it is, yeah.
On a different subject, on Cuba, there's reporting that Raul Castro could be indicted by the DOJ.
Thank you, Angela. Thank you. Appreciate it, buddy.
I believe. What does that mean?
Well, I don't want to comment on that. I'll let DOJ comment on it. But they need help, as you know. And you talk about a declining country. They are really a nation or a country in decline. So we're going to see. We have a lot to talk about on Cuba, but not maybe for today.
Tariffs, Mr. President. Did you agree with President Xi to extend that year-long truce on tariffs?
We didn't discuss tariffs. I mean, they're paying tariffs. They're paying substantial tariffs, but we didn't discuss it. You know, before I came along, it was the opposite. We didn't discuss tariffs.
How come?
It wasn't brought up.
Mr. President, you said in January to us that you were going to bring up the expansion of their nuclear program. Obviously, they've got 600 weapons now, by the Pentagon's estimate, going to 1,500. Did that come up? Did you succeed in getting them into any form of arms control, or remember we discussed New Start?
Mr. Rick jumping in on the chat saying people's problem is they just have so much hate for one man. That's the bottom line. He runs this country like a businessman, not a politician. What do you think, chat? Do you agree? We got Danny C13 saying MAGA 2028. There you go.
Talking about China. China. We brought it up. The denuclearization. I talk about it all the time with Russia and with China.
We got Sia Nora saying, you Americans have a great president. You have to cherish and support him. Without him, America was finished. Finito. Finito. Do you agree with that?
And it did come up. We did discuss.
And what did you conclude?
I don't know. I got a very positive response since the beginning. You know, we're going to be together 4 times potentially this year. We have the G20, which he wants to come to, which I'd like him to come to. It's going to be in Miami. It's going to be in Doral. And it's going to be, I think, very good. Much more important if he's there. And so you have the G20. We have one that he has, as you know, in November. Right.
Mr. Rick has some insider info, maybe. He says, yeah. Oh, wait, where'd it go? There it is. I guess a lot. No. This one. There it is. You're getting ready to see gas prices fall to rock bottom. Get ready. How happy are you guys going to be when the gas prices hit rock bottom? There you go. Make sure you all like, subscribe, turn on those notifications. Going live every day of 2026. Become a member. Throw in a super chat.
In China. He's asked me to be there. I'm going to try and be there. And then we have another one on September, I guess, 26th or 24th, where he's coming into the White House.
I'm trying to understand what it is he committed to, if he committed anything.
Well, I don't want to say anybody committed, but we have a very good understanding.
So are you going
know,
to
the
move
concept of denuclearization.
Denuclearization, or just an extension
Well, no,
of
a denuclearization.
In other words, building down.
And you bring Russia into it also. But the concept of that is something would be very good.
Sir, can I ask you about the political prisoners in China? Did you bring up with President Xi any of the political prisoners in China? Are any going to be released? Any progress?
I think he's giving very serious consideration to the
Thank
pastor.
you, Danny C.
The pastor said he's giving very serious
Happy to have you on board, Danny C. Appreciate it, buddy.
consideration to that.
What about Jimmy
I discussed it.
What about Jimmy Lai?
It's a tougher one. I did bring it up. It's a tougher one. For him, it's a tougher one.
What did he say about
I
it?
understand. It's, for him, it's a very... He told me. I don't want to mislead anybody. He said Jimmy Lai is a tough one for him to do. You know, they went through a lot. And right or wrong, they went through a lot. So he told me that would be a tough one. He said he's going to strongly consider the pastor.
Sir, can I ask you 2 on technology? First,
There we go. Can't wait for that technology question. But we got Mr. Rick jumping on the chat saying, yeah, I guess a lot of people didn't know Hillary was supposed to win and finish the job with their great reset. And adds, it's a little funny. People think Camel Toe Harris would have run this country good. She was a communist female dog. There you go. What do you think, Chad? Do you agree or disagree?
computer chips, advanced computer chips like the H200s that Jensen has. Did that come up at all with Xi?
It didn't come up, but as you know, Jensen was there. He's an amazing guy, Davidian. And he would be inclined. You know, they have much higher level than the H200. But the H200 is good. China needs it. And so, yeah, it came up.
They haven't bought it
We
so
haven't
far.
much, no, because they chose not to. They want to try and develop their own. But it did come up, and I think something could happen on that.
Okay. And then on artificial
They
intelligence,
have quite a bit higher level, but the H200 it's a great chip.
and then on artificial intelligence, what is it that you want to get done? Did you bring up
We did.
folks and all these things?
We talked. You know, we're leading by a lot. but they're second and they're very strong. And we talked about possibly.
We are leading. There you go in artificial intelligence. There you go. Good to know. Good to know. Absolutely.
Working together for guardrails.
And what kind of guardrails?
The standard guardrails that we talk about all the time. AI is fantastic. So many things can happen in terms of health and medicine.
A commie dog for sure.
Operations, everything. Military, and so many things can happen, but it's also got some drawbacks, and we're talking about.
We got Cianor jumping on the chat with a camel emoji saying camel is a junkie. There you go. Did y'all know that? Is that accurate?
We probably will. We're going to work together. We had a very good conversation about a lot of stuff.
So biological, nuclear, cyber. Did you specifically discuss those risks?
We discussed, I would say, almost everything you could.
What in the world? Lava Turtle giving some news saying, did you see what Christopher Nolan did in his new movie? He made Elliot Page the girl as Achilles. Achilles was Brad Pitt in the movie Troy. The whole internet turned on him. What? I need to see that, bro. What in the world? Send that to me in my Discord if you can or if you want. We're going live every day of 2026. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, become a member, throw in a super chat.
Discuss except for a reduction of tariffs.
On Iran, Mr. President, just to be clear, I mean, what's next? Is the threat of the bombing starting again? How realistic is
I
that?
don't want to say that. I mean, I'd like to tell you. I'd like to say on a certain hour, a certain day, the bombing is going to start. I don't want to say that. I can only say that.
So allegedly, yes, rumors surrounding Christopher Nolan's upcoming 2026 film, The Odyssey, have sparked intense online debate, specifically alleging that trans actor Elliot Page could play a version of the Greek hero Achilles. What in the world is this? Unreal propaganda, bro. Come on. This is so wild. That's horrible, dude. What, making a superhero into a trans? There's only two genders, male and female. Prove me wrong. Come on. Love the way the Lord made you. What are you guys doing, man? Don't fall victim to this nonsense.
Iran, I can say this with very, very strong conviction. Iran will never have a nuclear weapon. Not going to happen.
What would the use be?
No chance.
What would the use be of repeating the bombing? You did it for 38 days.
Well, no, we did.
And you did not get the political.
Angelo jumping in on the chat saying it was never the Island Man files. It's the Clinton files. Oh my God, bro. Island Man was just a scapegoat. Yo, how you doing, Christopher Ford? Good to see you, buddy. Sorry, I was just reading that report. Didn't see that.
Changes in Iran. Oh, I had a total military victory. But the fake news, guys like you write incorrectly. You're a fake guy, and guys like you write about it incorrectly. We had a total military victory.
Look, he's smiling. He's so happy that Trump's even acknowledging that he's a fake dude.
Knocked out their entire Navy. We knocked out their entire Air Force. We knocked out all of their anti-aircraft weaponry. We knocked out all of their radar. We knocked out all of their leaders, number one, and then we knocked out all of their leaders in the 2nd Division, and we knocked out numerous of their leaders in the 3rd Division, and they're very confused. We've had a total victory, except by people like you that don't write the truth. You know, you should write. I actually think it's sort of treasonous what you write, but you and the New York Times and CNN, I would say, are the worst.
So on another war.
You should know better. You're a professor. You know better. Your editors tell you what to write, and you write it. You should be ashamed of it.
Another war.
You should be
I actually
ashamed.
think it's treason when you write like they're doing well militarily and they have no.
Actually, treason. What in the world? Oh my gosh. So what happens after that? In the USA, let's see this one. Okay. Treason against the United States shall consist only in levying war against them or in adhering to their enemies, giving them aid and comfort. No person shall be convicted of treason unless on the testimony of 2 witnesses to the same overt act or on confession in open court.
No Navy, no Air Force, no anti-anything. By the way, we knocked out 85% of their manufacturing for the missiles. We knocked out everything. We haven't knocked out other than one bridge that we did because they misbehaved. But we have bridges we could knock out. We could knock out their bridges and their electrical capacity within 2 days. We could knock out the whole thing. And then I read the New York Times and
we got a chat from Lone Wolf and Cub. How dare Trump meet with other leaders? What's wrong with him?
they act like they're doing well. And everybody knows it. That's why your subscribers are way down. You know, the Times subscribers are way down because it's fake news. Way down, way down.
And that's the reason we're trying to bring you real news. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn on those notifications. We're going live every day of 2026. Live every single day. Become a member. Throw in a super chat.
Discuss Ukraine at all with President Xi, and is there any movement on that?
I did. We discussed. Well, it's one that we'd like to see settled. Until last night, it was looking good, but they took a big hit last night.
Yeah.
We got Robert Welch saying China's so dirty, calling liberals out on their bias. Says TDS trolls. Do you agree or disagree, chat? We got Angelo saying Democrats shot Lincoln, Martin Luther King, John F. Kennedy, Reagan, Malcolm X. Oh, those Democrats. There you go. Trigger. Happy.
So it's going to happen, but it's a shame. 25,000 people died last month. Yeah.
Admiral Cooper of CENTCOM was asked yesterday about the strike on the girls' school on the first day.
Oh, by the way, if a U.S. citizen is convicted of treason, the consequences are extremely serious. They can be sentenced to death or at least 5 years in prison, fined at least $10,000 US, and they are permanently barred from holding any office under the United States. The Constitution also makes treason hard to prove, requiring either a confession in open court or testimony from 2 witnesses to the same overt act. What treason means in U.S. law, treason is very narrowly defined. It means either levying war against the United States or giving aid and comfort to its enemies. What happens after conviction? A conviction can mean prison, possibly death, and a large fine. So why treason cases are so rare. The law sets a very high bar on purpose because the founders wanted to prevent the government from using treason charges too loosely against political opponents.
Oh, it's under investigation. You're talking about the original.
Yeah, it was the only case of investigation at the moment into civilian casualties.
I think we have a couple of things under investigation, but that is under investigation.
Are you able to confirm yet that it was a US missile?
Who you with?
BBC for the radio.
Fake BBC. You mean the ones that put AI in my mouth? The ones that get...
BBC, the ones that put AI in my mouth? We got Jason Beatrice jumping in on the chat saying Jayapal committed treason in Cuba. There you go. So what's going to happen to Jayapal? Absolutely. Jayapal is that, she, I think she might be like a Pakistani or Indian female in Florida. The one that, Jason. Okay. Yeah. And what's going to happen? What is going to happen to her?
Gave me, had me saying a statement that they now admit was not true. That the ones that put terrible words in my mouth and then had to admit that it was fake. The ones that are being sued now for $5 billion and don't know what to do. You with BBC? They're another fake outfit. Yeah.
About the deals in China.
And that's not cool. You know, you gotta have some type of deterrent for that type of stuff. Oh, we got Veronica's friend coming in. All right, what's going on? Let's see what she has to say.
Did anyone drop a super chat or become member yet?
Not yet.
Please
Soon,
support this channel, drop a super chat, and become a member.
There you go. We love you, girl. We love you.
Did you get a deal on soybeans? You know, the farmers...
The farmers are going to be very happy. They're going to be buying billions of dollars of soybeans. Yeah.
Well, we were talking about Britain, but Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister there, is in a lot of trouble. I know you were asked about this.
Well, he's in trouble for 2 reasons: energy and immigration. He's very bad on energy. He should open up the North Sea. He's got a gold mine, and he should open up oil in the North Sea, and he doesn't. They have a tremendous value. You know, they buy...
Tremendous. We got the presidential touch saying, Xi acting this way, it just lines in the last chapter of the book explaining their long game against us. Very, very interesting. Would love to know more. What is their long game against us? Presidential Touch is referencing the president of China. Would love to know their long game. Thank you, buddy.
Buy their oil, a lot of it from Norway. Norway gets it from the North Sea. Not as good an area as Scotland and the UK has. So they're paying.
Oh my God, Jason Beatrice. W's in the chat for Jason Beatrice. Chinese president gave a shout out to MAGA. Absolutely. And that's brilliant, right? That's brilliant. And this is what happens when we get a super chat. Come on, Veronica, tell Jason you love him.
Thank you for your support. I love you. Wishing you and your family the best.
There we go. Go on and do your push-ups, girl. Go on and do your push-ups. W's in the chat for Jason Beatrice. Shout out to the Chinese president. We love you. Make America great again. There you go, buddy.
Paying Norway a fortune for oil that they take out of the North Sea.
Do you think Starmer's going to survive as Prime Minister?
It's a tough thing, unless he can straighten out immigration where he's weak. And if he doesn't start drilling and stop with the windmills all over the place that are causing havoc. They're causing havoc. Most expensive form of energy. They kill the birds. They're unsightly. They're ruining the landscape. If he doesn't stop with the windmills, he's got to do energy. He's got to open up the North Sea. You know, he's got one of the greatest oil finds anywhere in the world, and he's not using it. And I tell him that. He's not using it.
Should he quit?
The oil companies call me every day. Please, please, we want to go to the North Sea. He doesn't allow it to happen.
Should he quit?
I don't say that. I think he's a nice man, actually. But, I mean, I didn't like when he said, we're going to send ships as soon as you're finished with the war, as soon as you... Well, we're sort of finished militarily, pretty much. But we, you know, David, we finished probably 70-75%. We didn't finish every one of the things. We'll go back and finish them off. And by the way, and more than that.
You saw the reporting on the missile capability, missile launchers that have remained. Does that seem accurate to you?
No, it's New York Times fake news. The missile launches are probably 80% gone. The New York Times said it's like we were hitting them like pinatas. The missile launches are largely gone. The manufacturing of missiles is about 80%, 80 to 85% gone. And we know where the rest of it. So if we go in, we'll take that out very early.
The intelligence reports seem to indicate, though,
there are no intelligence reports.
We got Warfarina saying Trump just doesn't understand because he is an idiot. Oh my goodness. Please let us know what you mean by that. Would like to know, buddy.
Not for they weren't intelligence reports. They were New York Times fake news.
Sir, would you consider lifting the sanctions on Chinese oil companies that buy Iranian oil?
We got Danny C jumping in on the chat saying, did you ever see Biden or Obama talk to press like this? Because they didn't have anything to talk about. Because they did not do S-hit. There you go. There you go. Direct. Do you agree or disagree?
Well, we talked about that, and I'm going to make a decision over the next few days. We did talk about that.
Do you think Xi felt stronger in his dealings with you than he did the last time that you
great
went to
relationship
China?
last time until COVID came along? You know, I blamed them for that. I said it was Wuhan, and I was right. And you know, look, that was a strain on everybody, COVID, and so it affected our relationship at the time. But we always had a great relationship before that and after that, and now it's as strong as ever. I mean, I went over to where he lives, which is something that rarely happens. Were you there? I don't know.
It was beautiful.
It's amazing. I mean, people have never seen it before. It's amazing, actually. We had lunch. We have a great understanding.
You don't think he feels
it's a very positive thing to have these two nations getting along.
Mr. President, on Taiwan, you said you were going to check with the president of Taiwan. But the 1982 assurances that President Reagan gave said the United States would not consult with China on arms sales to Taiwan. So it sounds to me like you have consulted with China.
I think 1982.
Jason Beatrice jumping on the chat saying China agreed Iran cannot have nuclear weapons and cannot charge shipping in the strait. There you go. There you go. Good news.
It's a long way.
It was.
Jason Beatrice says Trump is ignoring the left and moving forward. Let's follow his example.
That's a big far distance
You
away.
dispensed with them?
No, I didn't say anything about it, but certainly, he brought that up. He talked about that to me, obviously. So what am I going to do? Say I don't want to talk to you about it because I have an agreement that was signed in 1982. No, we discussed arms sales too.
And what's his request?
We discussed in Taiwan. The whole thing with the arms sales was in great detail, actually. And I'll be making decisions.
What was his request?
But I think the last thing we need right now is a war. That's 9,500 miles away. I think that's the last thing we need. We're doing very well.
Would the US defend Taiwan if it came to it?
I don't want to say it. I'm not going to say that. There's only one person that knows that. You know who it is? Me. I'm the only person. That question was asked to me today by President Xi. I said, I don't talk about those.
He asked you today. He asked you if you would send troops, if you would
He
defend.
asked me if I defend them. I said, I don't talk about that.
You told him that.
I don't talk
Did you talk to him about the size?
How important is it that you need negotiation tactics and skills like this? You might think, oh, okay, yeah, Trump isn't too much of a softie. He's not the dude that's gonna, make you warm hot chocolate and give you a hug and say everything's okay. He's negotiating. He's negotiating with world leaders here. This is a very, very big deal. And to not reveal his cards extremely quickly, what do you think, chat? Do you think that's a W or that's an L for Trump? Do you think Trump should reveal everything?
Cyber attacks that he's done in the United States or the MSS has done?
I did, and he talked about attacks that we did in
BG the 11 says that's the reason China is arming the Iranians and their ships pass the strait without a problem. Is that accurate or inaccurate? We're going live every day of 2026. So make sure you like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, become a member, throw in a super chat.
China. What they do, we do too. It's like the spying. They're talking about, the spying. I said, well,
The spying
we do it
or
too.
the infrastructure?
Look, no, I'm talking about spying.
But
The question was asked to me yesterday, I guess. What about the fact that China's spying in the United States? I said, well, it's one of those things because we spy like hell on them too. So,
What about the fact that China is putting in the U.S.
Also in UK, China has spies everywhere.
infrastructure code that they could use if you ever decided to come to the
Well, you don't know that. I mean, I'd like to see it, but it's very possible that they do. And we're doing things to them. I told them we do a lot of stuff to you that you don't know about, and you're doing things to us that we probably do know about. But we do plenty. It's a double-edged sword.
So again, on President Xi, a couple of years ago when President Biden met him in San Francisco, he was asked if he thought President Xi was a dictator. Do you think President Xi is a dictator?
No, but I think that President Biden was an incompetent president. He gave us the Iran nuclear deal, which allowed Iran to have a nuclear weapon within a matter of years from the time they said, I terminated it. If I didn't terminate that, Iran would have a nuclear weapon, and they would have used it within probably...
Come on. Any Biden supporters in the chat, do you agree with this or disagree? We got a chat from Lone Wolf and Cub saying, don't forget Democrats giving $2 billion to Stacey Abrams for climate change. She's an expert in climate science because she is black. There you go. Did not know that. Thank you for the info.
Probably 2 years ago, 3 years ago. If I didn't go in with the B-2 bombers 9 months ago, Iran would have a nuclear weapon and nobody would be able to talk to them. By the way, they would have used it already.
But do you think President Xi is a dictator or not?
I don't think about it.
Right.
He's the ruler. He's the president of China. I don't think about it.
Look at this reporter just trying to get Trump into a little wormhole right there. Trying to get him in trouble. Admirable? No, not too much. That's also the president of the United States. What about you? Try to develop questions that will help the United States, help your company, and help the future of the United States. Come on, buddy. We're going live every day of 2026. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn on those notifications.
You deal with what you have. I respect him. He's very smart. He loves his country. I respect him. Whether he's a dictator, that's for you to figure out. Yeah.
Mr. President, you said you didn't talk about tariffs, but did you talk about fentanyl at all?
I did. I talked about fentanyl. As you know, I put a tariff on because of fentanyl, and they discussed that. But I put a penalty.
Just give you an update. As of mid-May 2026, Representative Pramila Jayapal has not been charged with treason, nor has she been convicted of any crime. She is facing intense political backlash and accusations from Republican critics, including Senator Ashley Moody. Got a moody woman right there, right? Or man, whatever. Regarding her admission that she spoke with foreign diplomats about aiding Cuba in obtaining oil, despite U.S. sanctions, going behind United States just to aid Cuba. There you go. Now, is it for humanitarian efforts or for something else? We got Marita Suomi, loving the United States. Thank you for the chat. We're going live every day of 2026. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, become a member, throw in a super chat.
It's a penalty. A lot of money we take in because of that. I'd prefer not taking it, and I'd prefer that we don't have, but we did talk about fentanyl.
What kind of agreement did you come to?
Well, you know, the fentanyl is down, way down from where it was, and it could be because of the tariff penalty.
Sir, domestic issue, if I could. Where are you on the Texas Senate race?
Just to give you an idea, this is Ashley Moody right here. Young hero. There you go, girl. Go on and do your things.
So President Trump and his...
Oops. Where did we go? Where did we go?
Israelis have us in a death grip to keep going.
Wild. We're all over the place right now.
Well, I'll maybe make a decision. I know them both very well.
We got an update. Trump was never charged nor prosecuted for that RA thing.
I like them both a lot. And, you know, my record of endorsements is extraordinary. You look at what happened with Indiana. And out of all those races, the one that won was, there were 3 Trump people in the race. If they had won, he would have won in a landslide. But I took out all of these candidates, and you know, long-time candidates with big leads against people.
Gator Chris jumping in on the chat saying innocent until proven guilty.
That never ran before, and the people that never ran before won virtually all the races. And as you know, 2 nights ago I won every single endorsement. A week ago before that I won every single endorsement. There's never been a record of endorsements like this, which is a great honor as far as I'm concerned.
But you might not
MAGA is a movement the likes of which our country has never seen before.
But you might not endorse, sir.
Do you guys agree with MAGA? Make America Great Again? What a movement, right? We got a message from Siamese Stormtrooper saying Israelis have us in a death grip. That's why we got them to agree to a ceasefire when they wanted to keep bombing. Try paying attention. Got Jason Beatrice in the chat saying MAGA, MAGA, MAGA. There you go.
Texas.
I don't want to say that. I mean, I'm looking at it very strong. I like them both. I mean, I'll tell you what I do think. I think the Democrats have a weird candidate. 6 genders. A real hit on Jesus. I mean, this guy is bad news with his mask from relatively recently. And he's a vegan. All of a sudden, he's not a vegan. He was a vegan. Now, all of a sudden, he's not. Texas doesn't like vegans. I do believe either one of them will easily win the race. I think that the candidate the Democrats have in Texas is a very flawed, very weak, I think he's a pathetic candidate, especially for Texas. Okay?
Did you see Secretary Rubio in the briefing room the other day, and what did you think?
Are you talking about his outfit?
Yeah, that's it.
I thought he looked very good in the outfit. I don't know if I'd do it, but I thought he looked very good. I think he's outstanding. I thought he was great. I mean, I saw every word of it. I thought he was
Mr. President, back to what you were saying before about the enriched uranium at Isfahan. So what your...
All right, so here we go. He's talking about Tallarico, Mr. Tallarico. This guy right here, James Tallarico. All right, vegan. Good to know, good to know.
logic be in having just a 20-year deal? I mean, the deal that you pulled back was 15 years.
Oh, Jesus. Hanta in Hebrew means scam. There you go. Interesting.
Whether they would have gotten it faster or not is up to you, but what would the difference be here?
Well, Obama had virtually no deal. Obama had a road to a nuclear weapon, and I terminated that deal. And if I didn't terminate Barack Hussein Obama, if I didn't terminate that deal, Iran would have had a nuclear weapon 2 years ago. As you know, that deal long expired.
So allegedly, in Hebrew, the word hanta means she parked. It's a third person feminine, the singular past tense for a vehicle.
You're doing it, and after you're bombing, then
you know what? I'll tell you what. I know you backed Obama, which shows what a fraud you are, because that was the worst deal. They would have had a nuclear weapon within a period of a year and a half after I terminated it. If I didn't terminate that, and if I didn't send the B-2 bombers in 9 months ago to obliterate, you know, one thing that did happen, which was very nice, the top person in Iran representing them was the top person. He said, I'm the only one, meaning the United States is the only one, along with possibly China, that would be able to get the nuclear dust out of that disaster that we created with the B-2 bomb.
Are you willing to do that? And why do you call
it at the right time, we'll either go in or we'll get it. I think we'll probably get it. But if we don't get it, we'll go in.
But you're willing to mount the operation?
No, I think they'll be totally defeated, and we won't have any risk. Yeah, we have the equipment to take it out. Nobody else does. China might have the equipment. They said you're the only one. They said you and China, but they weren't sure. We have the equipment to take it out.
Sir, did you put...
Takumi, how you doing? How you doing? We got Gator Chris saying Nate Diaz or Perry. You guys have any ideas on who's gonna win? Or Gina or Ronda tomorrow night? Gator Chris has Perry and Gina for the win. I think Nate Diaz versus Perry, I don't know, is it full MMA or is it boxing? If it's full MMA, oh man, Perry's a strong guy, but Diaz has that he's got that endurance, you know. So if he doesn't get knocked, and I don't think Nate Diaz has ever been knocked out, this guy just keeps on going. And as far as Gina or Ronda, I think Ronda might take it. Awesome. Happy to see you're doing good. We're going live every day of 2026. So make sure you like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, become a member, throw in a super chat, talk to us, POTUS.
Discussed North Korea with Xi.
I did.
What came out of that?
You know, I have a very good relationship with Kim Jong-un. He's been pretty quiet.
Have you had any communications with him?
Yes.
Of what kind?
Doesn't matter. I mean, I don't tell you about that. But I have a good...
It doesn't matter. I don't tell you about that. What a boss move. And do you guys think Kamala Harris would have conversations with Kim Jong-un or President Xi of China? And how would they go? How would they go? And what would they talk about?
Good relationship with him. He's been respectful of our country. I want him to be respectful. He's been respectful of our country. Hey, thank you very much. Enjoy the flight, everybody.
Thank you.
I heard you didn't have cameras back here. In fact, I loved it. I heard this.
Oh, yeah, we got Mr. Rick jumping on the chat saying China now going to get oil from Alaska and Louisiana and Texas. There you go. Help the United States economy. So if Trump doesn't want to help the United States economy, then explain the moves he's making. Just trying to figure it out. We got Boomerang. Oh, man, that's a funny one. MAGA is just Scientology for Republicans. That's hilarious, bro. I love that. I love that. We accept every single type of joke as long as it's funny over here. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, turn on those notifications. Going live every day of 2026. Become a member. Throw in a super chat.
Now they got a camera. I heard that you were shut out for 2 hours until we leave the airspace. But he's got a camera. He's got never misses a trick. You better make me look good with that camera.
You always look good, buddy. Come on. You know, this guy is such a gentleman. He's just such a gentleman, guys. What do you think? What do you think? You think POTUS is a gentleman or not too much? Not too much. Hannity.
All right, we continue more with...
So he's thinking that this is the worst deal Trump has ever made, allegedly. Let's see what's going on. Talk to us, Hannity.
President Trump, we held this interview right after his all-important meeting with President Xi as we continue from Beijing, China. if you were to take some headlines.
We got Mr. Rick jumping in on the chat saying Donald Trump also said Xi is a very tall man for being Chinese, and he said he is central casting. So basically, some people don't know it. We are watching a movie play out in front of our eyes. Do you agree or disagree, chat?
Out of this summit, America, I'm sure, watched the reception, and I'll do a side-by-side of the reception.
We got Lone Wolf and Cub saying the only one who was defending P3Ds was Democrats. Island Man gave them money for all their hard work.
Then President Obama.
He doesn't respect Obama. Nobody does. Highly overrated, and he's a divider. Biden will go down as the worst president in history because I think what he did on the border.
And how do you explain your relationship with President Xi? Because it seems as cordial as it can be. He doesn't seem like the warmest guy in the world on the outside.
He is. He's warm. I mean, look, he's smart. He's a very smart person. But we have a good relationship. No, he has to respect somebody. He's no games. He's not like, let's talk about how did the Yankees do last night? Okay, who cares? They don't care. He's all about China. It's
but their economy's
it's a consummate
hurting.
Thing.
Their economy's hurting.
I don't know. I've been hearing that about them for 40 years, that their economy's hurting. I've been hearing about it. I'm always hearing about it. Look, we want to open it up. It's massive, and we want to get all of those companies and many more in there and make a lot of money and a lot of jobs for America. That's all. It's very simple. And I've done it better than anybody else. Our deficit's way down from what it used to be, way down.
We got Matthew Gardner jumping in the chat. Give us some Trump emojis. There you go, buddy. Etsy TV says, I myself identify as a genetic male. There you go. Good to know, Etsy TV. Good to know.
And this could end any deficit with China. China's been very good. China treated our presidents with great disrespect.
What about just change the name of the country from United States of America to the United States of Trump, UST?
Like we have a lot of presidents, and I was a Reagan fan and am. I liked him. I thought he was great, great style and everything, but he was not good on trade. We lost the car industry to Japan and Germany and others. People have liabilities and whatever, but we had some presidents that were really, really bad. They allowed our country to be just absolutely decimated. And when you look at what happened with Biden, when you look at what happened, the way everybody treated him, there was zero respect. Obama, too. The Iran nuclear deal was the worst deal, one of the worst deals ever made. If I didn't go in and terminate that deal, Iran would have a nuclear weapon, and they would have used it. We wouldn't even maybe sitting here right now.
Can I ask you this, though?
But John, they would have used it. The Iran nuclear
I agree
deal.
with you.
Then if I didn't go in with the B-2 bombers 9 months ago, they would have had a nuclear weapon. And by the way, the one thing they told me, because I deal with the Iranian leaders now a little bit, they said very strongly, because they said, we're getting the nuclear dust. That was a term I made up because it's sort of, it's a simpler term for people to understand. It's nuclear dust, sort of dusty. But I said, we get the nuclear dust. They said, you will get it. They agreed to it, right? They agreed to it. But then they take it back, then they agree. It's back and forth. I don't know. I think they have a lot of problems with the leadership. But Sean, they said, we get the nuclear dust. They said.
We got Anastasia Dudette jumping in the chat saying, but isn't this just lip service from Trump? He said we'd have new and more jobs. So where are they? I'm just curious. Are you a federal employee or what's going on? So let me give you some data. The White House said that by early February 2026, 615,000 private sector jobs had been added in Trump's second term, while federal employment had declined. So if you are a federal employment, then maybe that's the reason you are thinking that. And if you are a federal employee, thank you so much for your service. We appreciate you. Couldn't be here without you. There you go. There you go. We're going live every day of 2026, so make sure you like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, become a member, throw in a super chat, talk to us.
There's only 2 countries that can get it. Who? You and China. Nobody else has the technology. I said, why do you say? He said, because when you hit that thing, the whole mountain collapsed on it. I said, so you're saying we really hit it good, didn't we? He said, there's no way that any normal country can. The only 2 countries that can go down and get that are you and China. It's very interesting because CNN was saying, well, maybe it wasn't hit that badly. It was hit. And what they did is they took a lot of credit away from those great B-2 pilots and the Tomahawk submarines. And, we had the submarine shooting Tomahawks in there, 30 Tomahawks. We obliterated it. And before the pilots even go back, I remember CNN saying, well, maybe it wasn't hit that badly. Maybe it wasn't. They didn't even know anything, and they were saying that. The top person said to me, there's 2 countries that can get that. We can't get it even if we wanted to because we don't have the technology or the equipment. They said us and China. It's very interesting.
60% enriched uranium to be weapons grade, 90% enriched in under 12 days.
Coco Bird jumping in on the chat saying, are all Americans this stupid? Question, are you American? Where are you from? And how are Americans stupid? And also, how can Americans become wiser? Thank you so much for your chat, Coco.
Yeah.
And they were bragging to your Middle East envoy, Steve Witkoff.
If I didn't go in with the B-2 bombers, that week, that day, that week, they would write...
Etsy TV says, federal employees can come work at Amazon DSP like me. There's plenty of room. Come on and do it. Go on, get those back muscles engaged. Start carrying, start grabbing. Good job.
Now have a nuclear bomb.
So it was that imminent?
Well, I thought so.
The intelligence told you so.
I thought that...
Jason Beatrice says, I'm a Republican, but I want to give a shout out to independents. I love when Democrats turn independent. There you go. Shout out to the independents out there.
They were very close to having a nuclear weapon, and it all emanated from those 3 sites that we hit, and we hit them good. We hit them good. And when he told me that, and he wasn't saying that as a negotiation, he was just saying, we can't get it, we'll never be able to get it. They're not, you got to move like the weight of a mountain. And it was a granite mountain.
We got an answer from Matthew Gardner saying, no, all Americans are not stupid. It's just the liberals. They're gotta throw in a septum emoji for that one, broski.
Bombs going right down air chutes. I guarantee they'll never build an air chute again.
This is the bunker.
Think of it, at 1 o'clock in the morning with no moon, we dropped bombs. Every one of those bombs went down an air chute and exploded. And the whole mountain collapsed on top of that site. And the Iranian leaders told me that they would be, and everybody else, other than, literally he said us in China, and I don't know that China can do it. I know we can do it, but it's a big project. To get it, it's a big project.
Do you feel, there's been people that have, and generals that I've spoken to, that think you have to get the dust, which is the enriched uranium, or have you...
Janice Farmer jumping in on the chat saying, the only problem with being an independent, you don't get to vote in the primaries to keep stupid people out of other parties. There you go.
You've been told there may be a way to...
Jason Beatrice has a rebuttal. Stupid. America runs this planet. Let's talk about it. There you go. There you go. Gator Chris says, hit like, you haters. Love it. Love it. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, turn on those notifications. Become a member. Throw in a super chat. Become amazing. Become amazing. Because you already are amazing.
Entomb it, that they could never get to it.
So we were thinking about doing it early on. And
about getting it.
It would take a while. It would take a week and a half. That's a long time to be in enemy territory. No, you got to move these massive amounts of granite. It's a granite. Granite's the hardest stone. It's amazing that it's those were really powerful bombs that we used. And don't forget, we hit it on top of that. We hit Tomahawks on top of that. No, I don't think it's necessary, except from a public relations standpoint. I think it's important for the fake news that we get it. I'm the one that said we're going to get it, and we're going to get it. We have our eye on it. So Space Force was my creation. I did that in my first term. It's going to end up going down as one of the most important of all of our military.
So it can be entombed.
Yeah, it can be.
With eyes on it.
It can be, but I'd rather get it, to be honest with you. It can be, a lot of things can happen, and even despite the statement that, they can't get it, they are, first of all, if we left right now, it would take Iran 25 years to rebuild, and it can never be like it was. It would take 25 years. I would rather get it, but we have our eyes on it. We know exactly what's happening there. We had, the other day, there was a man that tried to get into the chute. We saw there was a door that was blown to smithereens, and we know everything that's happening. If they ever moved on, and I told them that, if they send a force over there to try where I see somebody's trying, all we do is just hit it with a couple of bombs, and that's going to be the end of that. They won't do it. I said, we have 9 cameras on that site, on those 3 sites, 24 hours a day. We know exactly what's happening. Nobody's even gotten close to it. They looked at it at the beginning and they said, there's no way that anybody can ever get down to the nuclear dust.
Jason Beatrice says, Mr. Rick, ignore Coco. We took away his oil and made him grow our bananas. He has a right to be upset.
You think it's...
But I'd still rather have it. I'd rather get it. I just feel better if I got it, actually. But I think it's more for public relations than it is for anything else. The other thing we could do is bomb it again, just make it absolute. But I would feel better getting it, and we will get it.
Let me go back to a question that has come up before for you, and I want to get into more detail because we are in Beijing. The issue of Chinese students in our universities. More importantly, in my mind, is that Chinese nationals have been buying up thousands and thousands of acres of farmland, ranch land, and land near military installations.
That's a big problem.
I would assume I'm in Beijing, if I wanted to buy property near one of their military installations, I don't think President Xi...
No, they wouldn't let you. Look, it's not that I love it. You want to see farm prices drop? You want to see farmers lose a lot of money? Just take that out of the market. But they've...
Is that accurate? That's something. That's a huge thing that the United States should not allow. That's a military touchy situation. That's just a vulnerability to our military. We got to protect our military.
Had a lot of land for a long time. Obama did nothing about it. They bought a lot of it during the Obama administration. He did nothing about it. As far as the students, it's 500,000 students they come, good students. I could tell them, I don't want any students.
We got Sim Racing Central 529 saying, if red state policies work so well, why are 9 out of the 10 poorest states consistently red states? This is a touchy one, right? So the real answer is many of these states have long histories of rural poverty, weaker education outcomes, lower wages, less union power, older industries, and healthcare access problems. So when someone says red policies work, the honest question is, work for whom, right? But let's see. The red states may be cheaper to live in, but if the paycheck is also cheaper, that's not prosperity. That's poverty with better parking. But let's see exactly how this one can work, right? So California has huge income for brutal housing costs. That's the blue state version of poverty. You make 6 figures and still live like you're renting from Darth Vader. So it's not as easy as just making up a huge, bold statement like that. Quality of life is a huge variable there.
It's a very insulting thing to say to a country. They would then immediately go out and start building universities all over China. But if you don't have those students, good students, by the way, if you don't, and we do another thing, if they're good and they want to stay in America, we won't give them a green card and things like that. You know, and that's not only them, but other countries. But if you want to see a university system die, take 500,000 people out of it. And you know, the ones that won't be hurt are the top schools. The top schools will do fine, but your lower schools, the ones that don't do quite as well, they'll be dying all over the place. I frankly think that it's good that people come from other countries and they learn our culture, and many of them want to stay here. I think it's good. Not everybody agrees with me, and it doesn't sound like a very conservative position. And I'm a conservative guy. I'm really a common sense guy, I think, more than a conservative guy. I think MAGA is common sense, you know. People understand we want strong borders, we want strong military, we want good education, we want low interest rates, we want, but I
think people would argue they worry about, do they have nefarious intentions?
Sure, I know, and we worry about that, and honestly, you know, they do things to us and we do things to them. It's a very, very fine line, the whole thing with students. So they have 500,000 students, and our university system does great. You know, it does great. You want to screw it up, take 500,000 students out. And you're gonna see bankruptcies at the lower end of good colleges, but they're not known or whatever. You're gonna have a lot of problems.
So we had a mention on the semiconductors and the chips. So the US and China are not really making peace on chips. They are making a temporary trade truce while still fighting over the most advanced processors, the equipment that makes them, and the future of AI. So yes, some tariffs and supply issues may ease, but the semiconductor war is still on. And one very special thing about Taiwan is they have a country over a factory over there that creates like the most intense and specific AI chips that are absolutely incredible. And China does not have access to them. Like, they're not allowed to purchase those chips, from what I understand. And if China does gain access of those chips, then it's going to be pretty tough for the United States to compete with them. Allegedly. Like, this is absolutely incredible. It takes multiple countries to create this machine, and the back order on these chips is like 8 years, something wild like this. So yeah, it's a pretty big deal. AI is a huge deal regarding this situation. So it's like walking on eggshells, and I hope that everything goes well between, you know, the negotiations between President Xi and Trump.
So it's something I'm always looking at, but it's a very insulting thing to tell a country, we don't want your people in our schools. I mean, it really is. Now, I'll have people say, oh, that's a terrible thing, you know. It is a very insulting thing. And it's very interesting. It's something didn't come up today, came up last time. But I will tell you that school systems don't want that to happen, because you won't have much of a school system.
All right, Mr. President, when they look through the history books, this summit, what will people be saying 10 years from now?
Well, I think it's a very historic summit. It's the two great countries. I call it the G2. This is the G2. They have G7, they had the G8. This is the G2. And I think it'll go down as a very important moment in history. And maybe...
Just be real. 9208 says common sense matters. There you go. We got David Tyson saying traitor Trump. All right. We got Salty Bits saying Israel is our #1 enemy. Do you guys agree with these people? What's going on? Make sure you like, subscribe, turn on those notifications. We're going live every day of 2026. Become a member. Throw in a super chat.
Be more than anything else, a great moment of respect.
Mr. President.
Thank you.
Takumi, yes, is it the NVIDIA one?
Appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, thanks for watching. Check out my new podcast.
There we go. What a gentleman is Mr. Trump is. Well shot, good lighting, nice shallow depth of field. Very, very good shot over here. Trump and Xi. Final talks in Beijing, China. Would you guys rather have a cup of tea with Biden or Trump? Or Kamala Harris? Alec Matthews saying, have a blessed day, 777. There you go. Thank you so much, buddy.
我们今天在中南海对这个总统
There you go. We got a few people saying Trump for sure. Jason Beatrice says the left is upset because Trump wins again. There you go. Gary Chris says Kamala puts whiskey in her tea, so there you go. You might get a little whiskey. Nathan saying neither.
中南海是党中央和国务院工作的地方，办公的地方，也是我工作生活的地方。这个新中国成立以后啊，就在这里。毛泽东、周恩来，到后来的这些邓小平、江泽民、胡锦涛都在这里。
Well, today I'm hosting the President and his officials in the Zhongnanhai compound for tea. This is the place where party and the central government leaders of China work and live, including myself. After the founding of the People's Republic of China in 1949, the leadership have moved to this compound, including the Chinese leaders Mao Zedong, Zhou Enlai, Deng Xiaoping, Jiang Zemin, Hu Jintao, and so on.
我安排在这里呢，实际上也是回报松登先生2017年在海湖庄园对我的款待。
I've chosen this place especially to reciprocate the hospitality extended to me in 2017 at.
There you go. We got Nathan Mitchell jumping in on the chat saying, I agree with one thing on this. The liberal agenda has destroyed this country. Destroyed. My goodness. Do you agree or disagree, chat? What are you thinking? We're going live every day of 2026. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, become a member, throw in a super chat.
That's right.
这个地方是过去的皇家园林的一部分，很有历史感。我跟总统先生走过来的时候啊，都是在那里停留了一下。那些树都是几百年的树，其中有一棵是490年。在这一片的皇宫区，大概都还有1000多年的树。总统先生还是很感兴趣，包括对我们的花儿。我也说了，是把我们的乐器啊、种子好好安排一下，送给总统先生。
Well, this place used to be part of the Imperial Garden. There is a lot of history around this compound. On our way in, we stayed to look at some of the old trees. One of them is 490 years old. In other places within this compound, there are trees that have lived to be over 1,000 years old. The president was interested to learn all about that, including the Chinese roses, which we looked at. And I've agreed to send the seeds for these roses to the...
All right, so this is the thing that we were talking about. This is from Wired. Let's see, how does this look? And yeah, you guys can see that. And let me just give you a little background on this. This is called TSMC, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company. It's headquartered in Hsinchu, Taiwan, and is the world's largest independent semiconductor foundry, responsible for producing over 90% of the most advanced chips in the world. So they have a rare monopoly. The TSMC produces the overwhelming majority of high-end chips that power artificial intelligence, smartphones, and data centers. So in regards to the global supply chain, while manufactured in Taiwan, the chips require collaboration from many countries. For example, extreme ultraviolet EUV lithography machines used by TSMC are made by ASML all the way over in the Netherlands. Huge distance, you know. And the TSMC are made by, okay. And then also they're using lasers from the US and mirrors from Germany. And these mirrors are the smoothest surfaces on the planet Earth. They're so smooth, and I believe that they're made by Zeiss. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it takes so many things. And so as Lava said, yeah, some of the major clients are Apple, Nvidia, AMD, and Qualcomm. So W's in the chat for you for saying Nvidia. That is accurate. And so the company is considered a key global supply chain bottleneck and a critical piece of modern technology infrastructure. So this building over here has a lot of strength and power. A lot. So much.
The president as a gift.
I love that. That's great.
And also Elon Musk is using those as well. And Elon Musk wants to build his own, which is something fascinating, because when Elon Musk builds a chip over there, they have to ship it from Taiwan to the headquarters in the United States. And then sometimes they need revisions, and they're like, okay, you know what? We fixed this little thing. It took a week, but we have to ship it back over there. And then they have to wait in line, and 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. So it could take like 9 months to a year and a half for a revision of an artificial intelligence chip. And that's a little bit too long. So Elon Musk, that might be one of the reasons he went to China as well, because he's going to be a direct competitor if he can get that up and running.
I want to thank you very much. This has been an incredible visit. I think a lot of good has come of it. We've made some fantastic trade deals, great for both countries.
Oh, Veronica's friend wants to come out. Okay, sure, yeah, go ahead.
Did anyone drop a super chat or become member yet?
Jason Beatrice did. Oh yeah, that's right.
Please support this channel, drop a super chat, and become a member.
Yeah, there you go. Please do.
He's a man I respect greatly. Become really a friend. We've known each other now 11 years, almost 12 years. It's a long time. And we've settled a lot of different problems that other people wouldn't have been able to settle. And the relationship is a very strong one. We've really done some wonderful things, I believe. We did discuss Iran. We feel very similar to Iran. We want that to end. We don't want them to have a nuclear weapon. We want the straits open. We're closing it now. I mean, they closed it, and we closed it on top of them. But we want the straits open, and we want them to get it ended, because
ILO quadruple 7 says Xi doesn't like Trump. He can care less about what Trump says. Look at his demeanor.
It's a crazy
Y'all agree or disagree?
Thing. They're a little bit crazy. And that's no good. Can't have it. They cannot have a nuclear weapon. But we discussed a lot of other things also, and I think we're very much on agreement. We're going to have some further discussions now with the group.
Yeah, further discussions, need those, right? Etsy TV says Julian Assange of WikiLeaks was asked why they did not get anything on Trump, and he stated unequivocally that they tried, but they could not find anything on Trump because Trump is clean. There you go, chat. What do you think? W's in the chat for Etsy TV or not?
But I just want to thank President Xi and all of his representatives. We've become friendly with all of them. Great people. And it's an honor to be here. We'll be back, and I believe on September 24th or thereabouts, President Xi is going to be coming to the United States, and we will be reciprocal, like reciprocal trade. The visit will be reciprocal. We're going to lay it on the line, and we're going to have, you're going to walk away, hopefully very impressed, like I'm very impressed with China. And I just want to end by saying thank you very much. It's been really a great couple of days. Thank you very much.
非常感谢，我觉得我这一次的访问真的是不可思议的一次好访问。我们两位元首共同的做出了很好的成果，我们达成了很多的。
We got Critical 509 jumping in on the chat saying, I love how whenever Trump does something, the losers can't help but get triggered about it. Oh my gosh. Gotta drop in a mic roast right there for him.
贸易的协议，我们两个国家。
Do you guys agree or disagree? We're going live every day of 2026, so make sure you like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, become a member, throw in a super chat.
达成了很多的共识。您也是一个非常值得尊敬的一个领导人，我对您。
John Missay says, you mean Dip S hit Biden, who effed everything up. Agree or disagree?
充满了尊重，我们相互之间认识已经有11个年多，几乎要12年了，这是非常长的一个长久的友谊的关系。那通过我们2个人讨论和合作，我们解决了很多的问题，别人都是没有办法能够解决这么多的问题的。我们2人之间的关系是非常好的。另外呢，我们讨论的问题当中还包括在伊朗问题上，我们也有非常相似的看法。我们都希望能够。
Gator Chris says 1337 is not a DEI comment reader.
解决伊朗的问题，那这个海峡霍尔木斯海峡也必须要开放。现在呢是他们把它封锁了，然后呢我们也再加上一个封锁，这个是很疯狂的。我们大家都不希望是这样，希望能够尽快的开放这个海峡。那我们不能够允许伊朗拥有核武器。另外除此之外，我们还讨论了很多其他重要的问题。那我等一下呢就会跟我们这个2个代表团在大范围的再进行进一步的讨论。那么我还想要再次的感谢习主席，也感谢中方代表团接待的所有的成员，我们大家都是好朋友了，而且我们将来还会再回来。另外呢，在今年的9月24日，习主席也将到美国来回访，这样的话呢，我们就可以实现元首之间的互访。我们在美国也会以同样的高规格来接待习主席。希望您在访问美国结束的时候呢，也会跟我一样有同样的这样。
We got Aaron Trombley jumping on the chat saying he is not clean because Pam Bondi effed. Destroyed half the record. She had everything. She said it to Congress. Then all of a sudden, it disappeared. There you go.
一种感受，能够觉得对我们的接待能够感到有留下深刻的印象。最后，我还再次要感谢您的访问，这2天的访问，我觉得非常的愉快和成功。
谢谢总统先生。谢谢你刚才的讲话。
Thank you for the support.
Thank you.
这次的访问是一个历史性的、标志性的访问。这个迄今我们已经达成了一个新的2国关系，就是建设性的战略稳定关系。这个可以说是一个里程碑式的一个访问事件。
Waffle jumping on the chat saying whoever brought Assange is onto something. My rule of thumb is Alex Jones wasn't warning people about Trump prior to the Iran war when there's nothing on him. Waffle Jackson, I think it was Etsy TV who wrote that one.
而且我们达成了很多这个合作的成果和意见，而且对国际问题也有了很多的。
So polite, so kind. There you go. Pretty cool shot. Well lit. One thing here that I would mention is on this frame. Where'd it go when he zoomed out? Trump's suit looks pretty good. Pretty good. You know, his suit looks nice, but I think Trump has a great suit. He's wearing a great suit. Nice tapered right below by the ankles. Nothing against President Xi's suit, but I don't know. For me, I think the black on black works a little bit better here. The blue to the black, a little bit of a separation going on over there. W's for both of them. I hope it goes well. We got this lady over here who's saying liberals love to blame Netanyahu, but allegedly she's blaming Israel. So what's going on over here?
A settler colonial state can't be reformed, and an apartheid state with a more liberal leader is still an apartheid state.
Specifically, we're going to talk about Israel's Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu. BB, if you're nasty.
What Israel is doing right now in their military campaign under Netanyahu's right-wing extremist government is horrendous.
I'm proud to support the state of Israel. I deeply oppose Bibi Netanyahu's leadership.
I do support Israel.
That's a pretty big statement. Oh, there you go. There you go. Didn't know that Gavin Newsom could say such things.
Israel. I am a staunch supporter of Israel, and I am a staunch opponent of Benjamin Netanyahu.
A line you often hear from liberals who want to criticize Israel without rocking the boat too much is that they love Israel.
Capricu disclaimer saying Luigi 2028. Bro, who is Luigi? Which are you talking about? Luigi, that guy that's he's got that index finger that did something pretty bad. What are you talking about? Which Luigi are you talking about?
The problem really is Netanyahu.
As a lifelong supporter of Israel, it has become clear to me the Netanyahu coalition no longer fits the needs of Israel after October 7th.
It's all his fault. If only we could just get rid of Netanyahu. Then Israel would be the democratic state that everybody dreams of. But is that really true? If Netanyahu was removed today, would Israel suddenly stop being so problematic?
No, no, and no.
Now more than ever, Netanyahu is blamed for steering Israel away from its democratic principles.
David 5880 says your fake shutter sound isn't nearly loud enough, mate. People in the next province can't hear what an awesome pro photographer you are. There you go. There you go. Who are you talking about? And where did that come from? And do you guys support Bibi or Israel or none of them? We have records from the last poll we ran. Let's run another poll. What do you think?
But the reality is Netanyahu is not the disease. He's a symptom of it. Poll after poll shows that Israeli society is openly racist and genocide.
That dude just pushed over a nun from the back, bro. From the back.
But the reality is Netanyahu is not the disease. He's a symptom of it. Poll after poll shows that Israeli society is openly racist.
Oh my God, bro. Her head hit that thing, dude. Oh my God. I don't know if you guys understand how bad that is, but that's so bad, dude. She's from the back. What type of coward does that, bro? Oh my God. April 30th in Jerusalem. The Lord sees, man. The Lord sees, bro. That is so bad. That is so bad. I can't believe I just watched that, dude. And you know the devil tests you. And a defenseless woman, like what was she doing, bro? She's praying for people. How dare her? Praying for people, trying to pray for peace. Oh my God. Oh my God. And what's the deterrent there? She didn't do anything wrong. Like what did she do? And it's a woman, dude. It's not a man. It's not a it's not a Palestinian soldier, bro, attacking somebody. It's just an innocent woman praying. Yeah, bro. That really makes you look like good people. Definitely. And if he's not put, bad things don't happen to him. Yeah, bro. People are gonna love your people and support your people for hurting some innocent woman, bro, from the back. And she doesn't look like she's 20, 30, 40. She looks like she's over her 60s, 50s, like how she's walking, you know? He just runs after her, bro.
Poll after
and he's got these little things here, and she's walking.
Poll shows that Israeli society is openly racist and genocidal, and that Netanyahu's policies and actions.
Oh my God, dude. Oh my God. May the Lord help that woman and help that man, because that dude has something wrong with his brain, dude.
Are widely popular.
האם אתם תומכים בנתניהו?
A large majority of Jewish Israeli citizens support his destructive policies.
בחו"ל הם חושבים שאנשים אנטי ביבי בגלל שהם לא תומכים במלחמה עם העזתים.
לא, תומכים במלחמה.
The war in Iran, the genocide in Gaza, the bombing of Lebanon, and the annexation of more Palestinian land in the West Bank to create Greater Israel. This violent Israeli culture and mentality is not new. When Israel was founded as a settler colonial state, it required the expulsion and elimination of the land's indigenous Palestinian population. The state tied its foundations and its future survival to the complete removal and erasure of Palestinians and anyone in the region that stood in its way. A zero-sum game set by the early Zionist movement. Jewish supremacy secured by all means necessary. But that mindset didn't just stop with the Nakba in 1948. Israel's goal has always been expansion through violence. The participation of everyday Israelis is essential. For decades, ordinary Israelis have been a part of a system designed to expel, manage, and control Palestinians. It requires their participation in enforcing military occupation, apartheid, and adopting a deep sense of racism and dehumanization towards its enemies. The Israeli society we see today is a byproduct of nearly 80 years of dehumanization and normalized violence against Palestinians and people across the Middle East. It is not the fault of one bad
Salty Bits 9954 says no charges were filed. Oh, what a surprise, bro. What a surprise.
Leader or a specific political party. It is the system, a system everyone participates in. It's the ultimate belief that Israelis must enact violence on others in order to survive and thrive themselves. Now, of course, none of this absolves Netanyahu from his own personal responsibilities. He is a war criminal by every definition of the word. He promotes and exploits war for his own personal and political gain. He promotes settler violence and land theft.
As far as settlements, I'd like to see you hold back on settlements for a little bit.
Let's try it. Let's try. Let's try, bro. Let's try. He didn't say okay or no. Let's try. Let us try. Let us try. All right. Got a message from Danny Sharp saying there is no genocide in Gaza. Palestine is not a real country. Israel has been wanting peace. 1948, the war of 5 Muslim armies against Israel. Israel won. Every peace talk has been broken by Hamas. Exempli gratia. Do you guys agree or disagree? We got Salty Bits saying settlements are code for stealing. There you go. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, turn on those notifications. We're going live every day of 2026. Become a member, throw in a super chat. Let's see what's going on.
Doesn't sound too optimistic, but that's...
Making jokes.
And he is responsible for overseeing and carrying out one of the most horrific genocides in Gaza and the...
We got one agree, one disagree.
Killing of hundreds of thousands of Palestinians, Lebanese, and Iranians. So as Israel becomes increasingly popular across the world, and especially in the United States, politicians are being forced by their constituents to take a stance. And blaming everything on Netanyahu is really convenient.
Benjamin Netanyahu is a...
Unknown EM says, I just care about having decent parking spots. Oh, man. And let's not forget, first, let's make America great again, right? Work on America before doing other things. We'll see.
Horrible person.
He becomes...
We got Jason Beatrice jumping on the chat saying, Salty Bits, do you condemn October 7th?
The scapegoat. All Israeli problems are projected onto him without scrutinizing the system at all.
And I think that many people do not understand that the Israel of today is not the Israel of Golda Meir.
This allows Israel as a violent genocidal state to remain shielded from accountability, while politicians are spared from ever having to meaningfully critique the society and the system that birthed someone like Netanyahu. This focus on Netanyahu and the shielding of Israel ignores the pain, suffering, and plight of the Palestinian people for liberation and justice. And it ignores one crucial truth, that the problem isn't just Netanyahu, it's Israel itself.
Yeah, just Israel itself. All right, we got Trump and Xi seeking stability. All right, let's see. Hopefully they find stability, right? From the Wall Street Journal themselves.
Donald Trump has been very open about the respect that he has for Xi Jinping and the strong hand that he's had leading this country of 1.4 billion people.
You're a great leader. I say it to everybody. You're a great leader.
JC Talk jumping on the chat saying 36-year-old Israeli man Yona Schreiber was indicted on May 7th, 2026 for allegedly shoving and kicking a French Catholic nun in the Jerusalem's Old City on April 28th, 2026. He was charged with assault. All right. Thank the Lord. We'll have to do a double check on that one. Thank you so much.
Sometimes people don't like me saying it, but I say it anyway because it's true. I only say the truth.
Xi Jinping has reciprocated that as well by talking up the importance of U.S.-China relations, particularly at a time when there is so much volatility in the world.
Oh my God, Jason Beatrice jumping in on the chat saying, Salty Bits does not condemn October 7th. What does that tell you, chat? W's in the chat for Jason Beatrice. Oh my goodness. Veronica, come over here and tell Jason you love him.
Thank you for your support. I love you. Wishing you and your family the best.
Go on and do your push-ups, girl. Go on and do your push-ups. There you go. W's in the chat for Mr. Jason Beatrice. Thank you so much, buddy. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, become a member, throw in a super chat. Keep this channel alive. We're trying to find the truth, trying to find peace. Let's do it.
见中华民族伟大复兴和让美国再伟大完全可以并行不悖。
When Donald Trump first came to office, he arrived with high hope for rewriting the entire economic relationship between the world's two large powers. He sought to use tariffs to change China's entire approach to how it structures and manages its economy. Instead, what we've seen over the last 9 years is China embedding itself even more deeply into global supply chains. As China has solidified its place as the world's factory floor, Donald Trump's aims have become more modest over the years.
We're going to have a fantastic future together. Such respect for China, the job you've done.
So there's a lot of bon ami this week, a lot of shaking of hands, sharing tea together, photo ops. But behind closed doors, there are
Jalen, thank you for the laughing disco, buddy. Appreciate it, brother.
A lot of difficult issues between the US and China. Issues that likely aren't going to be resolved in just a day or two of talking. There's no question that Xi Jinping is going to put pressure on Donald Trump to back away from some of the commitments that the US has made to Taiwan, including arms sales and including rhetorical support for its de facto independence.
Did you talk about Taiwan? Great place. Incredible. China's beautiful.
Donald Trump arrived with a large entourage of business leaders, including Apple's Tim Cook, Nvidia's Jensen Huang, and Elon Musk of Tesla, SpaceX, and a host of other companies. The message that they're sending is that they still see hope here to open up China, as President Trump has said, and perhaps to rebalance the relationship just a little bit. We also have a couple of notable absences. We don't have Melania Trump, the First Lady. Instead, we have Marco Rubio coming under a different name than he usually uses, in Chinese at least. And that's to get around sanctions that were imposed on him when he was a senator from Florida. Pete Hegsath, the defense secretary, he wasn't...
That's very interesting news right there, bro. That's very interesting news. Yeah, absolutely.
Expected to be here initially, but here he is in Beijing.
Thank you so much, Joyce Haynes. Yeah, we got the best chat in the world. You guys gotta know that, and we appreciate you. Everybody loves you. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, become a member, throw in a super chat, and join this chat. We got the best chat. I love you guys.
Expecting Xi Jinping to make his...
I love you guys and girls at 21% of female subscribers we have.
...first trip to the U.S. in many years, perhaps in the fall. And later, towards the end of the year, we have two multilateral meetings where we expect the two leaders of the U.S. and China to meet yet again, one in China and one in the U.S. So there's a sense here that the two leaders are going to try and bring at least some modicum of stability.
We got BBAJP saying F Trump. Somebody loves Trump. Maybe is that a guy or a girl? I don't know. Oh, never mind. It says insane criminal, and okay, never mind. Doesn't like Trump in that romantic way. Never mind.
Of stability and calm to the proceedings, at least for the next few months.
Capricu says Rubio is DEI. First, that's news for me. That is news for me. Yep, Takumi, that's how they bypass sanctions against Marco. We got Unknown Ian saying, in Rubio I trust. How far does AIPAC go? And do they stay AIPAC or do they change names?
AIPAC is infiltrating American primary election.
Thank you for your support.
Oh, Veronica.
I love you. Wishing you and your family the best.
There you go. That was for Jason. But just gotta rearrange this for a sec. One sec, y'all. Yep, we're on the right one. Okay.
Even more than you might think. And over the course of my primary, AIPAC dumped more than $5 million into my race. But you wouldn't know that by watching their ads.
Kat Abu-Ghazaleh says she's a progressive champion. But what do we really know about Kat? Who is the real Kat Abu-Ghazaleh? We don't really know.
Chicago Progressive Partnership. Sounds like a nice string of words, right? They probably support left-leaning foreign policy, an arms embargo of Israel's military, an end to the war in Iran. Nope, it's AIPAC. AIPAC's brand has become so politically toxic that even they admit it. So rather than putting their own names on their own...
They admit it? How do they admit it? Let's see, girl, let's see. Rokana, U.S. Representative. Received from the pro-Israeli lobby J Street. 209,000. This you, Rokana? Oh, track AIPAC. Interesting. Okay.
Admit it. So rather than putting their own names on their own attack ads, they create a series of neutral-sounding shell packs, like Elect Chicago Women and Affordable Chicago Now, all of which serve as vessels for AIPAC's ad buys. And as Politico noted, their ads focus on everything except Israel. It's almost like genocide is unpopular, but you need to get ready to see this all across the country, not just in my race. So far this season, AIPAC has spent tens of millions of dollars. $22 million in Illinois, $2 million in New Jersey, and another $500,000 to defeat Nida Alam in North Carolina, despite her opponent pledging not to take any more AIPAC money. But no matter what state, all of AIPAC's ads, no matter what form they take, operate under generic names to disguise the organization's true intentions. It's like whack-a-mole trying to find these guys. And AIPAC is getting so desperate and so dishonest that they are inventing new ways to deceive you. In my race, AIPAC created and aired positive ads for one of my progressive opponents.
Oh, there you go. For one of her opponents who is a Muslim. AIPAC. Who says AIPAC doesn't help Muslims? Gator Chris saying people talking S-hit have bot names. There you go.
Opponents without her consent, hoping that it would take votes away from me. Just think about this for a second. AIPAC using their resources to create positive ads for a Muslim woman who has denounced Israel's war crimes? That's nuts. But the deceit isn't just in the names of these organizations, it's also in the content of the ads themselves. AIPAC creates some of the most egregiously dishonest ads in politics, which is saying something. They painted
We got Brutal Facts saying, thank President Trump for removing the Ayatollah and his son. There you go. Do you guys agree or not? Make sure y'all like, subscribe, turn on those notifications. Going live every day of 2026. Become a member. Throw in a super chat. And we got Unknown EM saying, is Palestine on the AIPAC money? We don't know. We don't know, you know. Do you have any idea if they are? Damage. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you.
Junaid Ahmed as Elon Musk's best friend for owning some Tesla stocks years ago. And as for me, AIPAC's big juicy scoop was an op-ed I wrote in my now defunct high school newspaper when I was 16. But a spokesperson for AIPAC actually bragged about their deceitful strategies, saying we will use every tool in the tool.
We are going to use every tool in the toolbox to try to get the best possible pro-Israel results. Jordan continued. All right. There you go.
Box to get the best possible pro-Israel results. Which makes me wonder, if you have to trick the American people into voting for your guy, and if you'll support any candidate as long as they sign a blank check to Israel, maybe you're not as pro-democracy or pro-America as you pretend to be.
Boom. Boom. Who is this lady? Bushra Amiwala. Bushra Amiwali. Okay, let's just do a little fact check on this gal right now. Bushra Amiwala. All right. Yeah, Bushra for Congress. I guess, yeah, that's her. Yeah. Is she... if she's showing her hairs, that's illegal in the Muslim thing, right? Keynote speaker. Oh, she's one of those edgy Muslim girls. So I'll show you some hair, girl. I'll show you a little bit. All right. There you go. APEC supporting Muslims. Yeah, you guys brought up some of China spying on Americans. Well, we got China spying on UK people. Here we go.
Hello, ma'am.
Pouring water.
Ma'am, can you open up? We need to investigate the leak.
A desperate attempt to lure a wanted woman out of her West Yorkshire flat.
Ma'am.
We got Salty Bits saying, you have very low information followers. How can my followers become a very high information? Actually, I think I'm trying to be as cool as my followers, man. I got the best followers in the world. Speaking of, make sure you all like, subscribe, turn on those notifications. Going live every day of 2026. Become a member. Throw in a super chat. And there you go. Damage is saying, I'm not trying to smell like corn chips, so I'll pass on a prison visit.
But while their outfits might look the part, prosecutors said this was a shadow or unofficial police operation directed by two men now convicted of working for China.
Ma'am. Hello?
We got Jacob saying, the independent title is so disingenuous. You're just a third party. Okay. If I'm sitting corrected, so if I do something like that, do you think it's better or more wise to just say third party?
Can you please open the door?
For days they watched and targeted a woman called monicawit. She'd fled from Hong Kong to Pontefract, accused of a multi-million-pound fraud which she denies.
Do you really want us to keep knocking on?
Yeah, what a natural beauty that girl was.
All night?
She might get stoned in ME. Oh my god.
They tried to coax her out, even using a fake delivery driver with no authority under UK law. They slid a camera under her door to try to see inside. And eventually...
Are you talking about Maine? She might get stoned in Maine?
They poured in water in what prosecutors said was a plan to capture her. Jurors couldn't decide whether this amounted to foreign interference. But while the spies were watching Monica, they didn't realise they were being followed themselves by MI5. Police swarmed in and arrested them. The group's ringleader, retired Hong Kong Police Superintendent Bill Wen. Prosecutors said the 65-year-old ran the spy operation from his office, working for the Hong Kong government in London. He recruited 38-year-old ex-Met police officer Peter Wai and Matthew Trickett, a former Royal Marine, who used their jobs in borders and immigration to research their targets on Home Office databases. 37-year-old Trickett took his own life before the trial began. But Wen and Wai, who was paid up to £2,000 per month, are the first people to be found guilty of spying for China under the new National Security Act. Among their many targets, China skeptic MPs like Ian Duncan Smith. But their main focus was Hong Kong exiles living in the UK, wanted by China after the crackdown on pro-democracy demonstrations in 2019.
Can't burn a Chinese flag in UK, bro. Cannot. No freedom of speech over there if the Chinese is after you.
They included activist Nathan Law, who the spies filmed going into the Oxford Union to give a speech in 2023. The group also targeted Labour.
That's right. Please hit the like button, y'all, from LesPower9. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn on those notifications. Go live every day of 2026. Become a member. Throw in a super chat.
Rights campaigner Christopher Mung. Hong Kong authorities have offered £100,000 for any tip-offs leading to his capture.
I didn't realize that I was being targeted by the spies. I feel not safe, even though I'm not based in Hong Kong anymore. Even though I'm living in the UK. Whenever I go out, I have to bring my personal alarm. I have to be alerted about the suspicious people approaching me. I have to concern about the safety of my family.
So while dissidents like Christopher welcome today's convictions, they say the UK government must do more to protect the exiles who've made Britain their home, and to keep pursuing those who threaten them.
Yeah, man. So not even in UK you're safe from the Chinese spies, bro. It's sad one of those guys just decided to extinguish himself, right? That's not cool, man. That's not cool. You got to be in a better job if you're thinking about doing that. You guys are talking about Island Man? You want to know about Island Man? We got a little information about Mr. Island Man. We can show you that stuff right now, man.
But
we got a chat from Damage saying, so you choose a warmonger in McCain rather than a Trump. See, I wonder what you independent pick a side, really. Pluto Boy says Trump is a warmonger. Capiku's ready for this one. Etsy, I read your comments, buddy. Oh, the last one. They are so consumed with hate that they can't operate in an orientation of logic and reason. It's all feelings, and the feelings are anger and hate. Etsy TV. There you go. There you go.
there was a new leaked document. Epstein had a roadmap called What If I Get Caught? This is an email from May.
What if I get caught? Interesting.
May 1st, 2009, Mr. Epstein, Dr. Jarecki asked me to send you the following notes along with the statement, quote, I'm thinking of writing a new book and I need a co-author. That's exactly the cover I would use too.
Yeah,
it's like
good.
the O.J. Simpson, if I did it.
Yeah,
not
literally.
saying I did, but it says, what if I get caught? And it's got a bunch of segments right here. The first segment, trouble avoidance. Have a fall guy. Avoid learning about illegal acts of others. So give no advice that aid and abets. Wife testimony. Safe houses. Disguises. Plastic surgeon.
That's the weirdest one. Plastic surgeon. Of course, safe houses and all those types of things. It's like, yeah. Reason he wouldn't have those? Come on. But plastic surgeon, bro, ready to change in a moment's notice? All right.
Document generation, birth certificate, driver's license, creating a new
everything, man.
New identity. And you know, Epstein's apparently dead, right? That's what they told us.
That's what they say.
That's what they say.
Island man. Stage gate. Island man is doing that to chicks in Israel as we speak, bro. There you go. We got Matthew Gardner saying Palm Beach Pete is Island Man. Island Man is Palm Beach Pete. We just got to do a shout out now to some of our heroes out there. Some of the heroes. Incredible heroes. Check this out, man. This is for the incredible heroes out there.
I got you, Marco! I got you, Marco! I got you, Marco!
Imagine this, bro. In the middle of the ocean, wild, nothing around you. You're screaming at some dude that probably doesn't understand you.
Heroes, bro.
It's
gonna be hard to get on.
It's gonna be hard to get on. Look at this, waters, and that's not warm, cool. That's cold water, man. Cold water, overcast seas, low visibility. Jumping on board, bro. Dude. Smashing that door up there. Boom, 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 boom. Look at that, dude. Open the door. Bam. Dude, hands up, dude, hands up. And it's that moment right there is so scary. You have no idea what's going on, bro. You better have your weapons drawn, ready for the worst, dude. Ready for the worst. Dude puts his hands up. These guys are not messing around, dude. And if you look at what this dude's wearing, imagine swimming with that, dude. He's wearing, what, 35 pounds of gear, maybe? You got any veterans in there? 45 pounds of gear? And then wet? That's 100 pounds, bro. That's so dangerous. He probably has like a life vest, maybe, or somebody, but I don't know, dude. What a job, bro. What a job. W's in the chat for these heroes. Yeah, unknown. This is probably Coast Guard, and then it's military special forces. Yeah, Coast Guard. Yeah, dude, that's so gnarly, dude. Just so gnarly. We had someone in the chat last night. We're going live every day of 2026. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, become a member, throw in a super chat. We had somebody last night not too happy with Fauci. And we got some Fauci news right here, buddy. Let's see what's going on.
Says the intelligence community engaged in a cover-up of the COVID-19 pandemic origins. James Erdman was told a Senate committee today that the key medical advisor during the crisis was in on it. Democrats on the committee boycotted the hearing, and the CIA did.
We got TCGPSA saying L Coast Guard. What do you mean, bro? How do you say L Coast Guard? How do you say that? What's your reasoning for saying that, bro? Those are heroes right there, man.
Denounced it. Congressional correspondent Bill Malugin has tonight's highlights from Capitol Hill. Good evening.
Ghislaine Maxwell is in Canada. If she didn't have such a bad record, she's a pretty good looking gal.
Bill.
And Brett, good evening to you. Republicans say the headline from today's hearing with this active CIA employee was his testimony that there was a U.S. government cover-up about COVID-19's origins. A cover-up in which he says Dr. Anthony Fauci played...
Salty bits. Vote for Dan Bilzerian.
a very key role. James Erdman testified that back in August of 2021, right as the U.S. intel community was about to determine that COVID-19 had leaked from a Chinese lab, Dr. Fauci injected himself into those conversations.
Never mind. I thought I saw a picture of Ghislaine that I was like, oh, dude, she's kind of fiery. But now I'm looking at her pictures. I don't know, man. I might need to take that back. I guess I gotta take that back. Never mind. Yeah. Maybe she has a cool personality, I guess. Oh, she's got that dad. She's got her dad, right? Her dad is that was the wild card into her career. Her dad was a dual spy for UK and Israel, something like that. Yeah, pretty wild, dude.
And the lab leak theory was suddenly changed to a neutral position just days.
We got Corvus Album. Thank you for the correction, bro, saying she is an effing monster.
Days later.
it was significantly influenced by Anthony Fauci's injecting himself into the IC. We have documentation that shows that as of August 12th, the CIA was considering calling this a lab leak. That changed on August 17th of 2021.
And that testimony
she's funny looking.
right there, renewing Republican attacks against Dr. Fauci.
We just heard testimony that he intervened behind the scenes to try and get our own intelligence agencies, CIA, FBI, to change their assessment of the lab leak. Why? Because he helped fund the Wuhan lab.
We got Etsy TV saying, read them, but you don't read them aloud.
He supported and funded gain-of-function research, and then he tried to cover it up.
And not a single Democrat on that Senate Homeland Security Committee showed up.
We got Jacob R jumping in on the chat saying the 2017 study from the CDC said that the mechanical studies would seem to indicate that masks would have an effect on transmission. Our studies concluded they did not. There you go.
To today's hearing, that fact reflected by a row of empty chairs. The CIA says...
Frodo says, you think Trump will do the 250 pardons on July 4th? What's going on? What's going on with the 250 pardons?
That hearing was all just a political show, telling Fox in part, quote, the committee acted in bad faith by subpoenaing an agency officer for testimony today without notifying the CIA. The witness testifying today is not appearing as a whistleblower in pursuit of the truth, but instead in response to the subpoena issued by Chairman Paul. This proceeding amounts to nothing more than a dishonest political theater masquerading as a congressional hearing. Well, Senator Ron Johnson responded to that.
Okay, so President Donald Trump is reportedly weighing a plan to issue 250 presidential pardons to celebrate the 250th anniversary of the United States on July 4th, 2026. A symbolic move, often referred to as 250 for the 250th, is currently in the preliminary stages. The target date, while July 4th is the primary focus, officials are also considering June 14th, 2026, which is both Flag Day and the president's 80th birthday. Purpose, the aim is to mark the nation's semi-quincentennial with high visibility symbolic clemency actions. No final decisions have been made, and internal White House discussions are ongoing regarding the selection process. There you go. There you go. Very cool. Thank you for the info, buddy.
That CIA claim in the middle of the hearing.
I'm calling on CIA Director Radcliffe and this person to apologize to Chairman Paul and this committee. This is not political.
Mark Thomas jumping on the chat with some heat saying this Shole has blood on his hands. There you go. Are you talking about Fauci? Who are you talking about, buddy? Thank you for your chat. We're going live every day of 2026. So make sure you like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, become a member, throw in a super chat.
Theater.
The CIA employee also testified that he knows of
Pardon, Joe Exotic.
at least 2,000
Mark Thomas says yes. Okay. Yeah, bro. I think a lot of people agree with you. A lot of people. What would be like the ideal poll we could run about Fauci?
Classified documents related to the origins of COVID-19 that he says DNI Chief Tulsi Gabbard is right now.
Tulsi Gabbard. She's cute. Jacob R says the study was called the study of non-pharmaceutical interventions and their effectiveness on influenza and influenza-like illnesses.
Trying to get released to the public. And Brett, we do want to point out, we did reach out to Dr. Anthony Fauci's team this evening to get his response to what that whistleblower.
Frodo Blaggins, you know what I think is patriotic, letting 250 convicted criminals out of prison. Who the hell thinks like that? Well, what if they're wrongly convicted?
Said we are waiting for a response as of right now. We'll send it back to you.
Continue to follow it. Bill, thank you.
Be sure to like and subscribe.
Why? Because he helped fund the Wuhan lab. He supported and funded gain-of-function research, and then he tried to cover it.
Supported and gained. Supported and gained. We got Les Paul, COVID plus booster, caught it while in the hospital. Those bastards. Goodness gracious. Yeah, Gator Chris agrees with me. Gator Chris says, always thought Tulsi and Luna were hotties. Luna. Don't know about you, but I value due process. Coming from Jacob R. There you go. Due process of law is a fundamental constitutional principle ensuring that the government must respect all legal rights owed to a person, guaranteeing fair and just treatment through established legal procedures before depriving an individual of life, liberty, or property. Originating from the Magna Carta and enshrined in the 5th and 14th Amendments of the United States Constitution, it serves as a safeguard against the arbitrary exercise of government power. There you go, buddy. 100%. I don't think anyone would disagree with you. Anyone of a sound mind. All right, here's the thing with Elon Musk, man. This is Elon in China. He's just circling around, taking videos of everything. We got someone saying deport Elon. What do you mean? What did Elon do, man? Here he is with Apple Cook. You know, Elon and Apple Cook went to that semiconductor manufacturer over there in Taiwan, most likely. Oh, he's making some faces, having fun. With Xiaomi CEO Li Jun. Xiaomi was banned from, no, it was Highway from China, banned in the United States. That's cool, he brought his kid. Good papa right there. Good man, good man. Good man. What do you guys think? W's for Elon or not really? We got Tucker just jumping on the Trump hate train right now, man. He's not too happy about it. He's not happy about it at all, man.
Joe Kent's wife was killed as a CIA officer in Syria. What was she doing there? She was sent there by the Trump administration to fight another.
Joe Kent and Joe Kent's wife, heroes. May Joe Kent's wife, you know, rest in peace. We got Damage saying W's for Elon. There you go. We got Kapiku saying F you, Elon. There you go.
Another one of Israel's wars. So it's a decision that Donald Trump made that got Joe Kent's wife killed. That's a fact. And now Trump is attacking the guy for getting remarried after that wife is killed, serving his administration.
Donald Trump cheated on his wife, Ivana Trump, with Marla Maples. It was
Marla Maples? Was it worth it? Wasn't she like a television personality? Actress, American actress. Okay. Here they are right here. Hold on. Joke incoming.
Administration?
Donald Trump cheated on his wife, Ivana Trump.
What did Ivana Trump do to Donald Trump? Why did she force Donald Trump to do this? How dare her, bro?
With Marla Maples, it was extremely infamous. How dare he criticize these honorable men who lost their wives for finding love years later? It's truly gall.
There you go, bro. There you go. Mamdani's wife meets an Israeli model. All right, dude. So Miss Israel 2025 is snubbed by Zohran Mamdani's wife. So I'm guessing this is Mamdani's wife over here. And this is the Israeli model. There you go. There's a smile. The pair met unexpectedly at a cafe in Brooklyn. Melanie Shiraz took a selfie video with New York City's First Lady, Rama Douaji. She's not taking his name. Okay, his last name. Before the former revealed her identity as Israeli. Douaji then refused to speak with her. Shiraz says she criticized Douaji's pro-Palestine stance. Oh, there's a little thing. It says, in solidarity with Palestine and the families of Sheikh Jarrah who are facing displacement from their own homes, a literal ethnic cleansing. Save Sheikh Jarrah. There you go. There's the gal. There's the gal. Miss Israel. All right. What do you think? Think she deserves Miss Israel? You got magicians saying feudalism is freedom. What does feudalism mean? Feudalism was a social, economic, and political system that dominated Western Europe during the Middle Ages, roughly the 9th to 15th centuries. It was structured around the holding of land in exchange for service or labor, characterized by a hierarchy where lords granted parcels of land called fiefs to vassals in return for loyalty and military service. There you go. It was a response to capitalism is freedom. Ah, all right, cool. Thank you, buddy. All right, Candace, talk to us, girl. Talk to us. You can't if you're muted, right?
While I didn't think that he was equipped, I didn't think he had the experience. What was more important were the things that I never thought during that time. Not once did I say to myself, he shouldn't be the president because he's a racist.
I'm talking about Trump.
And yet overnight, this man who nobody had an issue with, he was on the main stage for decades, a celebrity for decades. Overnight, I watched the left call this man a racist, a sexist, a misogynist. And that's how I got started, because the left overplayed their hand. Because I said to myself, something's not right. So fast, so swift, and they're calling him all of these names. And I asked myself, is it plausible that racism is now being used as a theme to turn black people into single-issue voters? Is it plausible that sexism is now being used as a theme to...
You got Salty Bits saying Joe Kent is a good man. There you go.
...to turn women into single-issue voters? And of course, the answer was...
Gator Chris says, there's a conspiracy with Elon Musk's kid, with what Elon Musk's kid said in the microphone. I think it's a nothing burger, but it's going viral. There you go.
Yes.
That's wild. That's wild. All right, so this is some different type of news. This is a SWAT team responds to a man. Man's third bank robbery. Dude is trying to make it a profession.
We're County 911. Hey, this is Jesse at Ameris Bank on Memorial Drive. We were just robbed. Do you know who they were? What were they wearing? No. They were wearing a gray hoodie and a black hat, and he had a blue mask on. Could you tell if he was black or white? He was white. Did you see if he got in a car or which way he went? Did he have any weapons with him? We did not see which way he went.
On September 9th, 2022, in Waycross, Georgia, during the early hours of the morning, a robbery inside Ameris Bank would set off a chain of events, taking investigators from stolen cash to a dangerous hostage situation where every second would matter in a case that would ultimately be investigated by the FBI.
449, just be advised, he had his hand in his pocket the whole time. They're not sure if he was actually armed. He should be a skinny stature.
So scary, man. Imagine walking up there.
Because when he walked up, he didn't have no mask on.
When he walked up to me, he said, can you cash it?
I want to know that he picked up a Marion too.
And when he said it should have been a check, it was a note. And the note said, do not press any buttons and give me the money. And it had to know.
Project Bluebeam, what's that?
Donations.
And so I'm trying to read the denominations. And
Did he take the note with him?
Yes, he slid it back when I gave him the money. Yeah, he has the bait. He has.
Okay.
Doesn't have a tracker.
Doesn't have a tracker, just got the paint in it.
Who else witnessed this?
Etsy TV says the fact that there are millionaires and billionaires gives everyone something to aspire to. It lets you know that you could possibly get there, that there's a chance that you can make it. There you go, man. There you go. Get some inspiration there.
Talking. Like I was standing here when he walked in, and he went straight up. So when he walked out and she came up, one of I was just wrong. I didn't see a weapon, but I didn't want to chance it. So I waited till he walked out. I said, Jesse, come here. I said I was just robbed, but I didn't motion him or nothing. I didn't have a weapon, and I didn't know.
That's okay. I mean, you did the right thing.
I have a friend of mine that was out there in parking lot. She saw some.
Yeah, she's been sitting in the car the whole time.
Okay, so she did see it.
She was sitting up there the whole time.
Oh, okay.
He come running out here.
Thank you, Gator Chris. So, Project Bluebeam is a fringe conspiracy theory that posits a secret cabal is plotting to establish a totalitarian New World Order. It claims elites will use advanced satellite and holographic technology to fake alien invasions and a technological simulated second coming of most religious figures. There you go. Oh yeah, I heard about that about 5 or 6 years ago.
Across over there, there's a little gray color 4-door car with a stoop on the back. He went running this way. He's about this tall, had dark clothing and a mask on. That's all his seats.
Hey, a gray 4-door car with a scoop on the trunk went inbounds. All right, thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Cap, do you want me to go see if they got camera footage over at Sonic's?
There you go. We got Jason Beatrice saying Judge Joe Brown, Reverend Jackson, and Mike Tyson all said Trump is not a racist. I believe them over some peasant online. There you go, bro.
What time do y'all open? Okay. Is it? Okay, I see a camera there. Both the stores over there got cameras, but they don't open until 10 o'clock. In which, they sitting outside, but the doors are locked. That look like gonna be your best angle to get a tag because it's got cameras that look like it face towards. So I think somebody just pulled up at Sonic's too, so we might be able to see theirs.
So you can make contact with the 43 for Sonics and Popeyes on my warrant.
How you doing, sir?
Good, about you?
I'm doing great. Your camera's working?
That's why they sold the 911 person that it's called.
So don't none of y'all cameras work?
They're all down right now.
Can I help you?
Yes, ma'am. Do y'all have
Oh, here we go. We got a how luxurious is Elon's jet?
How luxurious is Elon Musk's private jet? This is his 5th private jet, the Gulfstream G700, the latest product from Gulfstream Aerospace in the United States, and also currently the largest private business jet in the world. Its total price exceeds $700 million, and the operating cost is $60,000 per hour. Just filling the tank once cost $1,680,000. The aircraft is 110 feet.
In the world? Is that accurate? $1.68 million? Dude.
The aircraft is 110 feet long, 25 feet high, and can accommodate up to 19 passengers at once. The entire jet features 20 panoramic windows and 5 ultra-luxurious living rooms, and it is equipped with a double bed and a private shower. The most noteworthy feature is the jet's cabin entertainment control system.
I guess jet fuel, you know, is more expensive, but $1.68 million.
Which includes a biological clock lighting system that simulates sunrises and sunsets, making passengers to adjust their internal body clocks before reaching their destination. In terms of power, the G700 is still powered by Rolls-Royce's Pearl 700 turbofan engines, with a maximum flight speed is 704 miles per hour. This allows Musk to efficiently cross oceans and international borders, easily reaching any destination.
Elon Musk single-handedly changed the whole vehicle industry in California, and some might argue the world. So, yeah, does he deserve it? For sure, bro.
President Trump is now on his way home, boarding Air Force One this morning after his historic summit with Xi Jinping.
Two leaders seeming to have productive talks on issues like trade and investing in America, but other issues like Taiwan, still a tense flashpoint. You're watching Fox & Friends First here on a Friday morning after a very busy week. I'm Todd Pyro.
And I'm Carly Shimkus. So much to break down this morning. And we start with Doug Lazater, who is live in Washington.
Yeah, Jason Beatrice jumping on the chat saying, Etsy TV, these people that hate on billionaires are the same people that love watching rappers flaunting money on, and diamonds on a yacht surrounded by thongs. Yeah, what a contradiction right there, right? Hating on them, but also watching someone that tries to become a billionaire. I doubt there's any rappers that are billionaires. Let me see.
With all the details from President Trump's latest movements overnight. Hi, Doug.
Carly and Todd, good morning. The president is on the long flight back to the United States this morning after wrapping up this summit with Chinese President Xi.
All right, so I'm corrected, I guess. As of 2026, Jay-Z is widely recognized as the wealthiest rapper, while with his net worth estimated to be around $2 billion to $2.8 billion. He is firmly established as the first hip-hop artist to reach billionaire status. There you go.
Xi Jinping, he's already touting new trade deals and says Xi has offered to help end the war in Iran, but other issues remain unresolved. Let's start with Iran. Before he left China, the president told Sean Hannity that Xi did offer assistance in ending the conflict, saying China agrees that Iran can never possess a nuclear weapon and that the Strait of Hormoos should reopen, just as reports emerged that another ship was attacked and another was seized.
We did discuss Iran. We feel very similar to Iran. We want that to end. We don't want them to have a nuclear weapon. We want the straits open. We're closing it now. I mean, they closed it, then we closed it on top of them. But we want the straits open, and we want them to get it ended because it's a crazy thing.
I have no idea how Jay-Z has more money than 50 Cent. Let's look it up.
They're a little bit crazy, and it's no good. Can't have it. They cannot have a nuclear weapon.
And the president says he got a commitment that China would not.
I think it could be because of how long Jay-Z has been doing it, and then also with like his record label that he had. So allegedly, yes, Jay-Z has definitely more than 50 Cent. 50 Cent's worth is estimated to be around 40 million to 100 million, while Jay-Z is 2.5 to 2.8 billion.
To give Iran what he called military equipment.
When you say support.
Yeah, like Rihanna and those types of things. Oh, thank you, Salty Bits. Happy to have you on, buddy.
They're not fighting a war with us or anything.
No.
He said he's not going to give military equipment. That's a big statement. He said that today. That's a big statement. He said that strongly. But at the same time, he said, you know.
There we go. Jason Beatrice says China also agreed to certain sanctions, like Iran cannot charge shipping.
They buy a lot of their oil
deal
there, and they'd like to keep doing that.
And the president.
Jacob R says that's because Jay-Z was tight with P. Diddy. Yeah.
Really wanted to focus on new deals with China, including the sales of Boeing aircraft, soybeans, and other American goods. But she said very early on that the number one issue between the U.S. and China was Taiwan, the independently governed island that China lays claim to. His language was pretty pointed in that regard, but there's no indication that U.S. policy toward Taiwan has changed. We will not have to wait too long for a follow-up meeting. The president has invited Xi to visit the U.S. in September. Carly and Todd.
It's a home-and-home series here on the diplomatic front. Doug Lazater, thank you. With that, let us bring in Gatestone Institute Senior Fellow Gordon Chang. And Gordon, we're going to pick up where Doug left off, the major issue of Taiwan. Did anything materially change with respect to Taiwan following this summit?
One word answer, no. It was very clear. Although Xi Jinping issued those very stark words, Secretary of State Rubio was very clear. U.S. policy has not changed. And so I think we're going to see very little in the way of China action on Taiwan. The problem.
You got Capicu disclaimers saying Trump golfed more in 4 years than Obama golfed and played basketball in 8.
Here for Xi Jinping is that his military is not ready to invade, and the United States is standing firm. The people in Taiwan, they want good relations with Beijing, but they don't self-identify as Chinese. They see themselves as Taiwanese. I think the status quo will continue, and the status quo is great for the United States. It's great for Taiwan, and it's great for the free world.
You mentioned Secretary of State Marco Rubio talking about the United States' current stance when it comes to Taiwan. Here he is doing just that.
Yeah, girl.
U.S. policy on the issue of Taiwan is unchanged as of today and as of the meeting that we had here today. It was raised. They always raise it on their side. We always make clear our position, and we move on to the other topic. I think China's preference is probably to have Taiwan willingly, voluntarily join them. We think it would be a terrible mistake to force that through force or anything of that nature. There would be repercussions for that globally, not just from the United States.
There was an $11 billion arms sale, Gordon, that was approved in December, has not yet been fulfilled. Another $14 billion one that's awaiting approval. These weapons would be sold.
This woman looks gorgeous. There you go, real woman. Yeah. W's in the chat for real women. Fox News has better looking female news ladies than a lot of the other ones. Let me know if I'm wrong. So we got I identify as a independent. Number 1, 42%, then Republican 35%, Democrat 23%. Yeah, W's in the chat for this girl.
To Taiwan. I'm sure that one of Xi Jinping's goals was to make sure that this arms sale doesn't go through. So what is the
You got Trump surfing the internet all night. There you go.
What does President Trump do here regarding these arms?
We're just going to have to wait and see. And that really is the answer for most issues following this summit. You know, Carly, most summits are canned. Everything is decided before the foreign leader arrives in Beijing.
Yeah.
This one wasn't.
Gator Chris says Central and South American weather ladies are ridiculous. Seriously, dude. Seriously. And some of their outfits are spot on. Very nice. Very nice. Very revealing. Especially if it's hot weather.
There was actually work done in those discussions among Chinese and U.S. officials. So I think what we're going to see going on are a number of announcements.
There you go. It's TV says the lefties were fine with Elon Musk until he joined with Trump. All you have to do is turn against Trump and then they love you. Yeah. And what's so funny is like those people that are driving the Teslas, but they're like, I love my Tesla, but I hate Elon. It's like, oh, man. Oh man, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like just love the man who made the car you love, right?
On things, and one of them is that there will be an announcement on the new arms package at some point. The Chinese are very intransigent on a lot of things. We heard some pretty defiant words from Xi Jinping on Thursday, dismissive of the United States.
There you go. Corvus Album says, crazy how independents have been the majority for years and years, but almost no representation. We got Salty Bits saying, blonde hair and BOO BS isn't attractive anymore. It's not? What's attractive then?
So I think that essentially we're going to see the Trump administration.
Faith, loyalty, good personality. Someone who can cook, clean, take it easy, inspire you, become a team player.
Impose costs on China, just as China's been imposing costs on us in the run-up to the summit. And I think
Jason Petrus says, I wanted a Tesla until I heard about people attacking Tesla cars. I haven't really, I've seen about it, I've seen it, but I think that was just like a bad marketing campaign that propaganda the media wanted to push on the people. I don't know personally anyone that had that happen to them, and I know a lot of people with Teslas.
That will continue afterwards. The competition continues, and this is going to be, I think, good for the United States.
Gordon, I'm trying to view Taiwan through the lens of the average American, because we always talk about it in the abstract. The average American, you're told you need to care about Taiwan. But why? Why should the
DCC says Tesla's a junk. Honestly, what do you mean? How do you think it's junk? You know, it's not ideal for someone that needs to travel very quickly in long distances. Obviously, an ICE car is better. ICE vehicle, internal combustion engine, when you can fill up gas in like 3 or 5 minutes and just bam, go, because it takes quite a long time to charge, especially with the lines and all those types of things. But you got self-drive with a Tesla, which is, man, so beneficial, and they're fast. They are so fast. Like if you a plaid, let's see what a plaid is. 2027 plaid, 0 to 60 miles per hour. Not gallon, hour. 1.99, bro. Unreal. These things are like just so fast because they have no ice lag. They're just absolutely so fast. 1.99 seconds in a 1020 horsepower tri-motor setup. 0 to 60 in under 2 seconds. I think that's like the second fastest after a Neverin. Or these cars are just so fast, dude, so fast. Obviously they don't handle like some of these European sports cars, and they don't have the sound and all that type of stuff, but they're incredible. They are incredible. They are heavy, but they're incredible. And the technology is very, very advanced.
Average American care about something so abstract? Is it all about sort of that key test of American credibility on the world stage?
Etsy TV is saying, trying to push false narrative that there are no billionaire rappers, then refutes himself. Well, yeah, of course. I only speak about what I think, and then if I'm wrong, I'm like, oh, look, I sit corrected. What's wrong with that? Is it so wrong to be like, oh my gosh, I learned something new in front of you. I'm not perfect. My goodness. Thank you for the chat. We're going live every day of 2026, so make sure you like, subscribe, turn on those notifications. Do we ever get a response about what it was Salty Bits who said about women? Salty Bits did not respond about women. Okay. Don't know what is attractive in a woman.
Or is it something as tangible as like, we need all the semiconductors to do what we want to do? Why does the average American care?
Yes, Svenning Marcus Descal says China has much better. I heard China has some amazing electric vehicles, that's for sure.
Gordon?
Okay, first of all, one Taiwanese company makes 92% of the world's most sophisticated semiconductors. The other 8% are made in South Korea, which is going hard left right now. So if the U.S. wants a future with semiconductors, then we are going to have to defend Taiwan. But it's much more than that. You know, Todd, you mentioned U.S. credibility. After
Matthew Gardner, that's for sure, bro. Every morning, that's right, dude. That's a good one. Gator Chris says the new $200,000 Corvette is beating Koenigs and Bugatti off the line now. Wild.
The catastrophic withdrawal from Afghanistan, a key test of U.S. credibility and resolve is our willingness to defend the free society of Taiwan. But we also got to remember that Taiwan sits in the middle of our Western defense perimeter, something that we drew in.
There you go. Yeah, the 2026 Chevy Corvette ZR1X is reportedly beating multi-million-dollar hypercars like the Koenigsegg Jesko and Rimac Nevera in drag races with reported 0 to 60 miles per hour times as low as 1.68 seconds. That's 0.21 seconds faster than that Tesla Plaid. And sub 9-second quarter-mile passes. The roughly 230,000 electrified American car uses a 5.5-liter V8 and an electric front axle to achieve these results. Yeah, bro. W's for Corvette.
In the 1800s, and Taiwan prevents the Chinese Navy and Air Force from surging into the Western Pacific. There are other reasons as well. We know China's attacking democracy. We cannot allow the Chinese to absorb any democracy, especially one as important as Taiwan, because there would be inevitable propaganda saying that the U.S. was finished. We know this because we heard that after the fall of Afghanistan. So this is from many different perspectives. We need to defend Taiwan. And by the way, because the Chinese aren't ready to invade it yet, this is a great time to sell Taiwan everything that it wants.
Yeah, well, the president right now on Air Force One. This was his 7th face-to-face meeting with Xi Jinping. Describes their relationship as very good, even a friendship. With all of that in mind, and the president heading back to Washington, D.C. now, what would you say your top takeaway, your major headline from this trip after all is said and done is?
We will only know that as these agreements are announced. And it's going to take some time for the China and the United States to hammer them out. One thing that I'd like to see immediately would be Jimmy Lai freed, the Hong Kong dissident. He's a real hero of freedom. President Trump said he was going to raise the issue with Xi Jinping. We need to protect those people that China is persecuting mercilessly. And we got to know that Jimmy is 77 years old. He's in very poor health. He's held in really miserable conditions in Hong Kong. I'd like to see President Trump with a renewed effort to get him free.
Yeah, it seems like President Trump does have capacity to get people in these kind of situations free. We'll see if it happens to Jimmy. Gordon Chang, thank you as always for your insight. We appreciate it, sir.
Be sure to like and subscribe.
Absolutely. Very attractive, very attractive. Okay, so Salty says, smart, informed women who aren't shabos, goy idiots are attractive. Shabos, goy idiots. What is a shabos, goy idiot? Jason Beecher says the same reason we need to defend Taiwan is the same reason we need Israel. Israel is more important in my opinion. There you go. What do you think, chat? Agree, disagree? We got a Nick Fuentes in the chat. There you go. Nick, how you doing, buddy? What's going on? What's going on? All right, we got a reason here to learn how to do self-defense. This is pretty important. Pretty important. Let's see if we can get a good frame over here. So there's a 18-year-old car wash employee who trains in jiu-jitsu. He tackles a man armed with an axe who is threatening people. He actually threatened his brother as well, which is not the wisest thing to do, right?
So he lowered it. So once he lowered it, that's when I shot the takedown. Bam. And I got on top of him and I controlled the situation.
It was closing time Sunday night at this car wash off State Road 200 southwest of Ocala. There were only a handful of employees, most of them teens, including Pino's younger brother.
I heard him yelling at my brother. I saw him look at my
Okay, Salty, I'll watch some of those. Thank you, buddy.
brother, and that's when I got I felt the adrenaline come in because I knew he wasn't gonna do something.
There you go. Family is number one. Don't let somebody mess with your brother. Right there. Pow, pow.
He wasn't going to do something good.
Workers at the car wash say the suspect, Bryce Thayer, is not a complete stranger to them. They say he'd sit at the street corner to panhandle in recent weeks and was kicked off property earlier that day.
Watch the videos! Watch it, please!
We're gonna love to. Thayer kept running his mouth as deputies cuffed him.
Get on your knees. Get on your knees. Hey, can I say something?
Nope, get on your knees.
Nope. I do!
Deputies say Thayer was also carrying a meth pipe. His black and blue mugshot shows Pino did some damage.
Did some work, bro. There you go. There's some people that are just idiots, man. Just unreal, right? Pino went Grigio on his face. That's right, Jason Martin. Shaboskoy. I gotta check that out. That sounds funny. White American panhandler. There you go. There you go. Yeah, everyone missed you, Jason Martin. What are you doing, buddy? Where you been, dude? All right, y'all. We're going live every day of 2026. So make sure you like, subscribe, turn on those notifications. Throw in a super chat. Become a member. Yeah, so we're going to wrap the stream up there. Yeah, make sure you enjoy. And if people are just spewing hate on you, just let that hate roll off you like water rolls off of a duck's back. And yeah, the Discord. That's right. We got a Discord. Join the Discord. It's on my YouTube homepage. Let's see if I can pull it up for y'all really quick. Drop a link in the chat. Later, Chris. Later, Chris. See you guys. See all of you later. Oh, why am I not allowed to copy this? There we go. That's one way to do it. Bam. All right, Jason. See you next stream, buddy. Yeah, we will ignore the left and just move forward like Trump. That's right. That's right. Appreciate you, Damage. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Les Paul. Cappy Koo says Charlie Kirk is black, can't vote, and got deported. Is God a liberal? There you go. That dude's not trolling for sure. All right, y'all. I love you. The Lord loves you. Take care of yourself.